You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting sets, and come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world, and show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, what we got for best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting sets, and come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world, and show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 2, Episode number 26. And tonight we welcome Jason back to the show. Welcome back, Jason.
Hey, Figsy. Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me back.
Going on,
Oh,
buddy?
always good to see you, man. How have you been?
Been good. Crazy busy. Crazy work commute. So, yeah, busy with work for the most part. But I'm happy to be back talking about games, which is my jam, if you will.
Nice. And how's the little one going?
He's sleeping more through the night. Thanks for asking. He's now almost 10 months, which is crazy. He can stand. He's got 2 words going on. It's either dada or cat. So we talk a lot about cats and me. So that's my favorite subject
in life. Exactly.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty. It's amazing. I recommend it.
That's funny. He has
Oh,
the
that's
same
cool.
personality as me already. That's pretty much all I do. It's talking about me. Yes. How old until you throw a PlayStation controller in his hand? You get him,
You know, I've actually got a PS4 controller teether, so it's pretty awesome. I got
that is awesome.
That's awesome.
It's like,
Dude, they
baby
have
stuff.
some pretty cool baby swag out there. I remember my brother had his kid. I got him a Slayer onesie, like for his little baby. I was like, dude, that is badass. Too bad he's only gonna fit in it for like an hour, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they make cooler baby stuff now than I remember. I mean, I guess I wasn't paying attention at the time, right? Because I didn't have one. But yeah, I don't remember baby, kid Metallica shirts and stuff when I was a kid. So
Yeah, that's
pretty
pretty
awesome.
No, I notice it now. Like, it's in shops everywhere, and it's so cool.
Yep.
They definitely know their target audience.
I need to get some baby.
They do.
so
They're all
look
getting
cool.
older. Yeah.
Like, these
Accessories.
guys still want to buy this stuff, but they have to buy this stuff. So if we put the stuff they want on the baby stuff, they'll buy it.
Knowing me,
all
I'll get into collecting it. I'll have like a room full of fucking baby onesies.
Yeah.
Like,
There-
I
there's
got
too
like
many-
every Metallica one now, boy.
I got a little like Sonic Halloween baby costume for him. It's like I can't go down that route. No, I hold back.
No. You get to dress them up and take goofy ass pictures. That is part of being a parent. You are allowed, sir. You are allowed to make embarrassing movies, embarrassing photos. You can, get to bring them up when they're 20 or in their teens and they start to date. You get to bring it out. Look at little Billy in his Sonic costume. Isn't he cute?
I've
That's how
earned it.
works.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a bonus.
Yes, that's how it is. But trust me,
I'm sure we have many young parents on who listen to the show. Jason, have you got any plans for child-proofing the game room or anything like that down the line?
But that's a great question. Because he loves to crawl in here already, and it's like, ooh, okay. Yes,
Oops,
I
yeah.
have plans. But what they are, I don't know. It involves a lock, I think, but that's about it.
I know some other mates who they've had to put their games in boxes and put them away and different things like that. Or certain people, I know Andy has his collection only on the top shelves, or the bottom shelves are empty. So toddler can't come out and pull all the games out. So there's different things you can do.
I think
But,
it's all
when you
headed
get so many games, there's only so many places you can put them.
Yeah, I think it's headed that way, unfortunately. But I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted. I'll send you photos as they get higher and higher.
That sounds good, man. And how's the collection going?
It's going well. It's a little out of control, but I guess that's not new.
That's perfect.
Exactly. I just need more shelf space, and like this room, I was only really set up as like a temporary solution, and then I got a little bit comfortable and used to it, and then the shelf space ran out. So it's going out of control in a good way. I just need to get a better storage solution, and again, like you mentioned, got to get them higher up. So figuring that out still, but it's definitely going. Like as far as the limited run set, like I mentioned to you before, I'm going for a full limited run PS4 set and PS5, which is admittedly insane. I don't think this is something I ever would have set out to do if I had any clue how many would eventually come out, but that's going. And then just looking for the weird European stuff. I love the strange German shovelware. Like me and Nicolo share that bond over horrible games that only come out in like one country.
Did you get the sheep game? Did you get the sheep game?
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
It was in my pickups. But oh hell yeah, I got the
Oh,
sheep.
dude, literally, Sylvan's on he's like on a European tour buying games, and he's like, "Are there any games you need?" I'm like, "I need the sheep game, bro. You gotta find that for me." That was like the first thing I said, and he's found it. I'm like so excited. So I'll have that someday.
I couldn't stop there. I had to get the sheep game on the PS4, the sheep game on the PS5, and the sheep game on the Switch, just because out of principle, the theme of this game on a Nintendo console I find more amusing.
Yeah, really. Like, in saying that, Nintendo get games that PlayStation don't get that are pretty risque. So
That's so strange how that's changed over time. How like Sony used to be the edgelords, and Nintendo was like the babies. And like even back when Genesis, like Nintendo was like, no blood in Mortal Kombat, no. Like it was very. And now, like Sony will be like cleavage, banned. You know what I mean? And then Nintendo, you're like, hey, I think this is pretty questionable. You guys might ban. You should ban this. It's completely opposite. Like some of the stuff they have, I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this.
Yeah, I never would have thought Nintendo would be the ones to say, "Hey, that's what the rating system's for." Like, really? Like, when did that happen?
Right.
It's true, but it's still crazy.
maybe Nintendo have grown with their audience, and like, I mean, our audience are now in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s, so let's give them stuff they really want, and it's selling. So good on them, right?
Yeah, no complaints.
Hey,
So Justin, how is the PS5 limited run set looking? I've got no idea on how many titles they're up to on the PS5.
I don't even know how many I have pre-orders in for, but like just looking at my shelf, I mean, if I had to count, in which I'm not, it's around like
which I'm
around,
not going to.
Yeah, I'm gonna eyeball it. 40 to 50. It's looking like on my shelf. Those are the ones that are the least organized because, again, I ran out of space, so I prioritize PS4 because there's more of them, and PS5 ones are just kind of stacking up. But yeah, I want to say I probably have like 20 to 30 pre-order that I haven't gotten yet. So that sounds like 80-ish, roughly.
And I'm sure the way they're coming in, it's not going to be in order. It's going to be like number 33, number 29, number 64, number 82.
Yep. It's worse on PS5 too than PS4. Like that's exactly what's happening. Like I'm finally getting those Shantae games that were like, the low single digit numbers, like after I've gotten like, oh, there's number 42. Like it's bizarre. It's hard to keep it numbered on the shelf.
And then the number system isn't great because some of the games double up in numbers and
Yep. And that reminds me, I've got something to show you too that falls very much in that category, but I'll save it for later. But yeah, like and PS5 doesn't even have those spine numbers. So if you want to keep it in numbered order, you have to turn them over to see like, oh, is it in the right place?
Switch is the same too, right? Yeah, the Switch is the same. They don't have the numbers on.
Oh,
I did something yesterday for the first time in my entire PS4 collection history. I rearranged my PS4 collection by alphabetical, and I threw all the limited run games in there. So Firewatch is at the F section, and Griffin Knight FX at G, and I love it. I've been looking at my wall going, that's so cool. I got all these games together, and I pulled all the limited run games out of my collection that I don't want anymore, and I'm going to put them on eBay and get rid of them. And I used to buy everything for the sake of it, and realizing now a lot of the games I was buying early on, I was just buying because it was for sale. I've got no intention of actually wanting this game and different things like that.
Well, at least the early ones are worth a lot. Hopefully you'll get some money out of it at least.
God, I'm like, oh yeah, this game. Why do I own it? Look it up. It's like $300 on eBay.
Yeah, you should send me some. Well, you sell all those. You may as well know. Send me a picture.
I did the same for Strictly. those early games are crazy expensive.
I know. There's a couple that I want. I did find out that Slaps and Beans, one of the people in your Discord was nice enough to tell me that it got a German retail release, which I didn't know that. I thought it only had a strictly limited release. So I ended up picking up that copy for like half the price. I'm pretty excited. I got my German Slaps and Beans coming now.
Speaking of my Discord, Joe, I just read this morning, and don't quote me because it's from someone in the Discord, but apparently Best Buy have discounts on their limited run games at the moment. So
no kidding.
Best Buy near you, check out. I mean, cheap limited run games, you can't really lose on that stuff.
I think that if you were into like, whatever, like buying stuff to hold it to sell it in the future or something, like I would definitely pick up all the Castlevania Requiems of the Symphony of the Night PS4 games that came out through Best Buy. I have a couple extra copies of those, and I normally don't do that, but to me, it's just like a no-brainer. I'm like, this is absolutely 100% going to be worth triple the value, and as soon as it's not in the store anymore, instantaneously, this is going to like triple in value because it's Symphony of the Night. There's no way it won't. It's like this, and it's Castlevania. So there's certain like I would pick up the Contras.
It ticks every box.
And sometimes their versions are more expensive than the limited run versions. Doesn't like I'm pretty sure the Stranger Things 3, whatever the game, or I'm pretty sure that limited run version's like more than the Best Buy version's more than the LRG one or something like that.
I can understand that. A lot of their audience are like me, overseas buyers. How are we going to get Best Buy games? We have to go on eBay and pay these prices. So if you've got 100 people who are all doing that, suddenly the price has gone up just because of that happened. And it's got nothing to do with the availability of copies or anything like that.
I've also heard conflicting messages that they're still going to be selling games when they discontinue.
I've heard that too. So.
Yeah, first I heard they were taking rid of everything, but now I heard it's just DVDs and CDs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard. So first I heard physical media, but they were referring to DVDs and Blu-ray, and I haven't heard them update that, but I also haven't heard them say anything one way or the other. So looking back at their actual statement, because they did comment on it, it's been movies that they were talking about. So I'm not really sure. I hope it is true that games will continue to be sold.
I'm honestly that I found it a little surprising because I was always under the impression that the video game industry is the only thing that's recession proof. It's the only thing that like never has a problem. I don't know. Like I buy games constantly from Best Buy. Like that's the only thing I buy from Best Buy. I don't buy anything else from them. I don't know what, to me. So I was just like, okay, I just will never go to Best Buy again, I guess. Why?
Whatever reason to go there, exactly. You can buy everything else on Amazon probably cheaper, right? With free shipping and
true. Like I don't know enough about how like retail and margins and all that stuff works, but I mean Best Buy's had a crazy selection of stuff that's like in the warehouse and ready to ship, like things that are pretty niche and some of the smaller titles, and I've been pretty amazed by the selection they've had. So when I heard that they were discontinuing, selling physical media, I was thinking, well, maybe they just had too broad a selection. Like they're not just carrying like the Assassin's Creed and that kind of stuff. They had all the weird little indie titles. So I imagine they can't be selling as well as the big stuff, and I would think that might be hurting them if physical media sales are continuing to diminish. But I don't know. It's all speculation. I just hope it keeps going. But I'm pretty impressed they have like an Amazon level selection of stuff.
It's almost a double-edged sword, though, that Jason, because if they were selling the AAA stuff, they've got the problem that the majority of people buying that stuff are now downloading it, where people who are buying the niche stuff are still buying it physically. So, like you think they wouldn't lose that audience, right? But I mean, maybe they are.
It's hard to say. I guess that we'll have to check back in a year from now and see if they've still got this stuff for sale. But I'm hoping it continues.
Oh, very similar thing that I just read this morning. And Josh from Limited Run Games just made a tweet that, not confirmed, but he expects Walmart 2024 Q1 to cease selling video games. And, this is from someone who is trying to get their stock in their stores. So it's a pretty reliable source, I'd say.
They did. Like, I think Ninja Turtles actually did. Like, the Dotemu Shredder's Revenge. Like, that one actually did make it into Walmart. And that was still a limited run, I think, as the physical publisher. So, yeah, I mean, he should know. But that would shock me. Like, because, like, if you think about impulse buys and, Christmas gift giving and all that Black Friday kind of stuff, I mean, that's Walmart. Like, that's Walmart right there. I'd be surprised if they stopped selling at least the major physical titles.
I've noticed I went game shopping 2 weeks ago with Andy, and we went into our local store, to JB Hi-Fi, and they very similar to Best Buy in America. Anyway, we went in there. We were looking at the Xbox section. I kid you not, 40% of the Xbox section is now digital cards, and you pull the card, and you're just buying a digital card. Like,
Yeah,
it's that, and that's literally a massive section. You know, they don't have the games anymore. It's just the cards. It was like, wow, this is the future. You know, there's no such thing as secondhand games anymore. You buy it at that price. That's it.
Now, what's better, a card or a box with a code in it?
Yeah, I mean, if you can use it once, it's the same thing.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like in Target in the US is becoming that way as well. In Best Buy, even though they have a great selection online, the aisles are pretty much half cards now out here too.
Oh, the in-store selection is usually garbage in my Best Buy. It looks like a corpse that vultures have picked over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's usually just like 2 copies of Mario Kart Deluxe and like, friggin' some weird, Assassin's Creed, like you said, or WWF game or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's another thing too. Is like a lot of the times I buy games from Best Buy, and if I went to pick it up in the store, they'd be like, "Says we have one." I'm like, well, good luck. Go find it. I'm like, wherever it is. I'm like, you better find it. Either that or I'm going out back. You better find it.
I'm going out back. He says, I love it.
And when they are there, they're like, they're not on the shelves. Like to your point, not even just when they have one. In general, they have like, no stock on the shelves. Like you have to go to the, customer service and be like, hey, do you have that back there? And it's like Toys R Us in the 80s. I'm not into it.
Yeah, it's an awful business model. And like, not everyone wants to ask. A lot of people are just going in, looking at the shelves and walking out. Another thing I would add, if we are going down the road where, physical media is going to be a thing if you buy it through websites and that's it. Well, we're not going to see cheap brand new games anymore because businesses aren't going to be paying for shelf space to display their games and different things like that. If you've got a warehouse and you're keeping your stock and you don't have to pay, employees to serve people all day, and you don't have to pay to, have the lights on because that doesn't matter and different things like that. Well, your overheads are less. You don't have to discount your games because you don't need that turnover. So they can, like limited run games, when do they do sales? They don't have to do sales. Their products are selling. If we get to that road, then the prices of video games can be very different to what they are today.
They're different. They're like, we have some. Do you want them? Hey, that's their sale like on Christmas time. They'll be like, we'll let you buy some of the games that.
We'll put them in a blind box, and we won't tell you what you're getting, and it's a lucky dip. And we'll put the expensive ones on there to think that you're going to get something.
And you'll like it because it's a disc. Just thank us later.
I did one time. I bought a blind box for like $10 off the internet. Some guys like, I never opened it, and it turned out to be Home for PS4, that little indie horror game. I'm like, I'm happy with that. It was like a $30 game. I did all right. And it was a horror game, so I was like, all right, I got all the options. I was pretty happy with it.
Andy just brought up a point that the store's still buying codes. Now, I'm under the impression that, again, I might be wrong here, but I'm assuming that if a store's selling codes, their overhead's going to be completely different. And surely they're not paying, $60 to $80 or $50 to get these codes. Surely it's a thing that they probably don't make much money at all on these, and Sony are just the ones taking it once the transaction goes through. Like, surely that's the case. Surely you're not just buying
they get a small
codes.
cut.
I could be wrong.
It's different to receiving a physical product, right? Because you don't receive the product until it's been downloaded.
I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm just thinking like points cards like PSN and Xbox, but like I'm pretty sure they're pieces of plastic, and then when you actually scan it as a purchase, like the transaction I think happens exactly. Like I think the transaction happens then between Sony and whoever, like the retailer. And so I think that like if it's a $20 point card, then maybe they're just getting a small cut that they're sending over.
They're getting 10% or something, and Apple's getting the rest, or Sony's getting the rest.
Yeah.
Not even 10%. They're probably making pennies. I used to sell cell phones, and you'd sell like prepaid phone cards. Same idea. Like there's no they would just like the card was pointless. I would just scan it in as a whatever, and it would just generate a code for you, and the receipt would be the code.
Yeah.
The card you could throw to the trash didn't really mean anything.
Yep.
Well, if that is the case, whatever reason would we see half-price codes? You're not going to. It's like, when do you see half-price games on the PlayStation Store? Like, you might see 20% off, but it'll be 20% off the RRP price, which is more than, retail price anyway. So usually they're just selling it for the normal price.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never be able to get the deals you get physically. No way, dude. And like, you'll never also like I like PS5, especially these days. Like, I'm not all about spending $70 to $100 on a game unless I like really like. If I'm spending that much, I'm getting something collectible. I'm getting an old PS1 game or something. If I'm spending $100, screw that, dude. I'm getting something I've been wanting for years. I'm not going to get some new AAA game. So I always will wait a month and just buy a used copy, and for like half price. Like, I always do that. I wait till I can get a nice clean condition one, for $30, something like that. And it's just not going to be possible. Like, you're going to be paying $70 for Hogwarts Legacy forever. If it's just online only, you'll never be able to find a cheaper copy. This won't happen.
Well, no, you will be able to find a cheaper copy, Joe, on Game Pass or on PlayStation Plus or, on whatever Steam services you do. That's going to be the future. And, we can see it like that 100%. That'll be the future.
It seems like it's all going to be service based. I agree. That's where things are headed. And I mean, I think I've heard the term, what will be like the Netflix of games for years and years. And I mean, Game Pass and now PlayStation Plus, the highest tier. It's the same. That is the Netflix of games. I mean, and that's where everything is headed, I think, is a service based kind of platform.
Yeah, you're spot on. There will be limited run games and Play Asia for people like us who are going to spend their money and, buy the collector's edition and print manuals and give us soundtracks. But we're not going to see, the new Assassin's Creed game getting, 1 million copies printed, or the new Call of Duty getting 1 million copies printed. If it is, it's going to be a few copies. It's probably going to be like Game of the Year edition, might come with a steelbook. Mightn't even come with a disc.
It's going to change my buying habits completely. All I know is that I will purchase probably 10% the amount of games just for this year. Because collecting is a different hobby, I feel like, than gaming to me. It's not the same anymore. And so if you take away the ability for me to collect, if you take that element out of it, I'm just going to buy a couple games, put, probably a couple thousand. I'll go back to what I used to do when I was a PC gamer, and I'd play a couple games at a time, just put hundreds of hours into a couple games and then just pirate everything else, baby. And that's what's going to happen. Pirating is going to be a huge, huge problem once it's only digital. They don't they still have this fantasy that people they're missing out on this mythical customer they're going to get when they change things. And it's no, you're just going to lose people. You're not going to get more. You're not all the people. I'm not going to all of a sudden spend thousands on digital. It's not going to happen. I'm going to either keep buying secondhand market, or I'm just going to buy a couple digital things and pirate everything else. There's no reason for me I don't care anymore if I'm not physically owning it. I would rather pirate it. I know that's not nice to say. People think that's the truth, though. I mean, same thing with TV shows. I'm not going to sub to your streaming network to watch one show. Get the hell out of here. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go sail the seven seas. I'm going to get you one show. I'm going to watch it in an afternoon, and then I'm done with it. I'm not doing that. There's no way. It's the value isn't there for me. What are you providing me for my money? One show and then nothing?
One after.
And I don't even own it. I don't have it on the shelf.
I like to do the free trial of streaming services and make new emails to get the free trial again and do things like that.
You're not the only one.
I don't have any stream. The only thing I pay for is YouTube Premium because, ad blocker on YouTube doesn't really work properly. So it's one thing that I watch enough YouTube that I'm happy to pay for that, and I can justify it in the amount of time I watch on there.
This whole thing's making me want to buy movies now more than anything, too. I'm really thinking about.
Yeah, you're right.
Well,
preserve me.
Yeah, dude. Movies and DVDs and TV shows and stuff. I'm I'm thinking about picking up a bunch of those because First of all, for sheer value, I do think they'll go up on value. If there's like a TV show that only got like one release on a DVD, didn't get a Blu-ray, didn't get 5 different versions, it's just like there's one box set for it, I bet that thing's gonna be worth a lot of money down the road, because not everything will be on streaming. And like I said before, like it's like, and who knows, like they could start putting commercials back in streaming. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do? Whatever. Even if you're paying for it, they'd be like, we're still gonna put commercials. They could just turn streaming right back into TV, and you'll be stuck with it. And that's what are you gonna do? Like, you don't have the option to go back and like watch it on DVD and skip all that crap. I don't know.
Well, with all of these different services now, it's like, I mean, it's kind of like cable all over again, right? Like, you know, there are all these cord cutters who, you know, were like, I don't need a cable package. I'll just get HBO Now, right? And now that's Max or whatever the hell it is. And there are just so many different services, and they keep on, you know, putting everything out on streams instead of cable channels. And it's like, well, wait a second, now I'm paying for Hulu, I'm paying for Disney, I'm paying for Netflix, I'm paying for Apple, paying for Amazon, and it's like, wait a second, this is actually more expensive now than it used to be.
And you're paying for the internet bill on top of it.
Exactly.
So it's like, you're like, holy crap, it's $150 a month right now.
Yep.
Now
So
here's
that's the
something.
downside.
Here, you want to be really depressed. Think about this, boys. Streaming only. Gaming is only available online through a streaming service. They start putting ads in your games. What are you doing? Commercials in your games while you are playing. All of a sudden, boop! Geico! You have to sit there and watch an ad. Why wouldn't they? You don't think they will?
Like
you don't think they will? They will. They
Don't
will.
get my ideas,
You will
Joe. They
have
could be listening going.
commercials in
Brilliant
your
idea.
games. You will. You will. Mark my word. Once you have no choice, you will.
I could see it happen.
It will happen. You'll be playing, and all of a sudden, in the middle of, you know, right to fight a boss fight in Elden Ring, and all of a sudden, nope, KFC and Taco Bell, or whatever. Oh man,
I can see it in VR too, where you can't. It's in your head, and you can't get rid of it. It's like you're getting brainwashed of an ad.
No, but seriously, I can't imagine.
Your Call of Duty game doesn't have the game on the disc. Like, what is the disc? Is the disc the download code? Like, really, if the game isn't on the disc, all the disc is an activation key, right?
It's kind of been like that. It's been like that for a while. Like, if you remember, like some really egregious cases, like, I think I said that word right. Egregious. Anyway,
egregious. Yeah,
that one. Thank you. The right one. So like Tony Hawk 5, right? That game is a tutorial on a disc. The entire game is like a multi-gig download. If you don't want to download the rest of that game, you're literally getting just a tutorial. And Activision's kind of been the worst offender for years and years, right? Like to the point where there's like nothing on that disc for Call of Duty for the most part. So it's kind of like that. So I mean that kind of does make physical collecting, you know, puts a damper on it when there's no content on that disc to begin with. It's really just a thing to put on the shelf. And yet I'm guilty of doing exactly that. I've got Tony Hawk 5 on my shelf right now. Yeah, I know it doesn't do anything for me, but
to add to that, Jason, Activision didn't do that for the Spyro trilogy. Like one of the Spyro games, you got downloaded unless you buy the second print, where you know.
Yeah. I have to go find the second print. I think they did the same thing with the Crash. Did they do that too, or was it just the Spyro games?
Yeah, same thing with Crash too. There's two
I'm pretty sure I have to go find
DLC though. The DLC for Crash. However, you can buy the double pack. Versions. You can get all of it on the double pack, which is funny because if they can fit 2 games on one disc, why couldn't they fit the one on one disc? Like, it doesn't make sense. Make it make sense.
It never makes sense.
Guys, speaking of Activision, did you guys hear about the takeover that's gone through now? Activision is now owned by Microsoft, so we won't be getting Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot, Spyros on PlayStation anymore. It's a Microsoft product now. I
mean, they have said that that won't be the case for a while. Like they put out some kind of statement. I think Phil Spencer saying something along the lines of like, hey, wherever you play, whether it's Xbox or whether it's PlayStation or Nintendo, he was like, yeah, you know, you have a home with us or whatever it was that he said. That like, yeah, you know, we're gonna continue to entertain you for years to come. And so I don't really think it's going to be that abrupt. I think it's going to happen for sure, but I think you're still going to be getting Crash and Spyro and all that, like for the near term on PlayStation.
That hurts. Crash and Spyro. That's tough. If
That's
if
like,
those
here's
can
our
imagine that.
mascots.
It's
Take
like
it.
Mario being like, "That's only Xbox now." Like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
Crash is like
It's not
PlayStation.
enough to fight for it. Like, oh my god.
Oh, I'm getting
I
Ratchet and
can
Clank
see
or
Call
something.
of Duty being a very like hey, it's going to come to PlayStation, but you can't play for a month, and you know you can only play these maps, and if you want to play this mode, you got to play an Xbox, and you know the kids are just going to buy an Xbox because of that reason. If you want to play a certain game and one franchise is giving you more options, then guess what? If you're 20 years old and that game's your life, you're going for an Xbox, and you know that's going to happen.
The new Black Ops, the zombies only works on Xbox.
That would be a selling point for me.
Of course.
The reason
That's the reason I buy the Black Ops games. It's for zombies. I don't even care about the damn game.
Yeah, but like there was a time, like, Activision and Xbox, like, I don't know, 2010 to 2015, 2016ish, they were very partner, like they were very aligned, where there was an exclusive window for all that DLC. And that changed, where PlayStation ended up getting that window because PlayStation became the dominant platform of to beat out Xbox 360. So I'm sure it's going to be the flip now, where Xbox is getting that stuff first. But I think that the core games and eventually that content will be out there on PlayStation and other platforms, at least in the near term. Like they said, for the next 10 years or so, it'll be on PlayStation. But I'm sure gradually less and less will make its way over there.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I don't know. I feel like Microsoft, I don't see them staying in the console business for if they want to go this new all digital route. It's like, at what point are you just selling PCs to people, man? Like, you're just selling little desktops, like that'll be like the new Xbox comes with a keyboard, mouse, and a monitor. I'm like, are you just selling computers? It's what it just sell. It's just, and that's and I don't know about you guys, but I don't. Like, I'd probably pick up an Xbox just for physical, for the backwards collecting thing. But like, if I really want to get into that, I'm gonna get Game Pass and play on PC and stuff. I'm not gonna all of a sudden like, well, done with Sony collecting, I guess I'll start collecting Xbox. It's not gonna happen. I'll just build a PC and play those games there. So
it's exactly what I'm doing, Joe. Like, Xbox is now PC Game Pass for me, and like Game Pass is amazing. I looked at the games the other day and I knew there were some good ones on there, but I am blown away at what you get for value for money. If you're a new gamer and you don't have a game collection and you just want to get into gaming, I can't sell Sony to someone these days because of how good Game Pass is. And, I'm Sony to the bone. So that's saying,
dude, this generation's made me sour on Sony hard, between my PSVR 2 headset dying and not being able to get a freaking PlayStation 5 for a year, and the prices like never going down, and the new revision, dude. Guy, dude. Here's a tip. If your console requires a freaking stupid little piece of plastic stand to hold it up that looks like shite, you redesigned it. What is the matter with you guys? If it can't stand up on its own, if you have to charge people extra money for it to freaking stand on its own, like what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you think? Literally, it is illogical and irrational for you to design a console that does not stand up. What the frick is the matter with you? Like, it blows me away, dude.
And this is the slim version, so you'd think the slim version would be for storing.
When it's more expensive, and
people that don't have room, so they can stand it in that place where I haven't got the room to have the big PS5. Let's get the small one. No, that doesn't fit either.
It's barely smaller. It's barely smaller. Like the disc drive version. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know. Like, it literally looks like it makes no difference to me. And it's like more money.
Concerns on what they took out of the console. Like, have they taken fans and stuff out to make it smaller? I haven't seen any videos on someone pulling it apart.
They took out all the heat sinks. Yep.
But like, how would it run on Final Fantasy 16, where it was already struggling on the PS5? Like, is it going to run better on the new PS5, or is it going to struggle? This is a genuine question.
The thing I really don't get, though, is that you can get the discless version, then you can update it, right, for like an $80 disc add-on. Like, who is it that is a digital consumer who later is like, you know what? I want to buy discs. I'm going to pay another $80 so I can add this on because I didn't want it before, but now I really want to get discs. Like they just don't
very weird.
understand their consumers. Like if they think that's actually a viable, like there's a user out there who wants to do this. Like there's no use cases that.
I would have seen when they first dropped the PS5, there was a big proportion of people that were buying the digital only version only because the other version was sold out. And, if you bought that version because it was sold out, I could see the upgrade being feasible. But, if they're releasing a console that isn't going to sell out and isn't going to be on delay for 4 years, which it shouldn't be, then there's absolutely no reason to. You buy the one you want from day one.
Exactly. I mean, like there are logistical reasons. Like if you realize, oh, hey, this $50 download is like $10 at GameStop. Like there are reasons to do it, but I just don't think that consumer exists who doesn't think of that up front and then later is like, I should spend $80 to get a disc drive. It's an interesting choice.
This is the only scenario. The kid goes to the store with mom. They buy the digital console and come home. And dad goes, "You stupid idiots! You go get the disc. What are you doing?" And then he gets
that's exactly right. that would probably happen a bit though. So maybe there is a market for it.
Here's what I like the idea of customizable pieces. Like you ever see the Poly Mega, or you could like buy pieces for it and do things.
Yeah.
I want it so I can add pieces so I can play backwards compatible shit. That's what I want. Like make it so I can add a drive and with hardware in it, with emulation in it. Like I'll give you a couple extra $100, dude. It's fuck $80. I'll give you $250. Let me add something on there. Let's me play my PS3 games. It could be separate. You could sell me two of them. You could sell me one that just does PS3. You could sell me another one for PS2. And even though it would play PS1, you can sell me another one for PS1. I don't care, baby. You can sell me 3. Just let me play my little games on my new systems, please. Because my PS3 fat models, they're just like, it's like trying to keep grandma alive. And I know she's not going to live forever.
Well, Jen, I've never heard someone brought this up, but what about an attachment where you can play UMDs and Vita cards?
Oh, dude.
How amazing would that be?
Bro, I have been for a PSP consoleized, like a home thing. Like they have the TV and you can emulate. There are ways you can play PSP on TV. There's tons of ways to do it, I know. But I do, like you said, I want something that lets me play my discs because I think that would make PSP games just shoot up in value like insane. Do you imagine they had a little UMD disc drive you could play your PSP games on? That would increase the value of PSP games. It would 10 times. And also, UMD movies would actually be cool. Yeah. You could actually watch movies at home. That would be awesome because there are a million UMDs out there that are like a penny. And they're like a lot of decent movies. But I'm not going to go out and watch Bad Boys on my PSP in the bathroom or something. What the hell am I going to do? Why am I going to do that? But I might watch it at home. Or, that would be so cool, dude. Yeah, like you said, a little add-on.
I'm hoping that there's companies out there that make products where you can play old Nintendo carts and you can play old Genesis carts and they do everything. I'm hoping in the future we see products so you can play a 3DS cart and a DS game and a Game Boy Advance game and a PSP game and a Vita game, something for the handheld gamer. Like I don't know if Sony would allow it though. That's the only thing. But Nintendo these days don't want to work with Sony, etc.
Like what Analog is doing with like the Analog Pocket, they have those add-ons where now you can play Atari Lynx games on it. You can play, Game Gear games on it, like that kind of Turbo Express, all that. I could see that happening. Like maybe there will be some kind of open source like emulation that without Sony's permission or Nintendo's permission, it is possible to emulate those things on like an analog type handheld. Like I really hope it's headed in that direction because I'd love to have like the next level. I like playing Atari Lynx and Game Gear on an analog. I like that idea, but I'd love to be able to play Vita and PSP on like new hardware with a higher.
And there are ways, like Cyrus was mentioning, a way to do it. There are ways to like you can play your Vita games on on a TV and different things like that. But they're not cheap ways to do. They're not ways that you can just go and spend a little bit of money. You got to spend almost $1,000 to be able to do something that isn't that good.
Yeah.
So is there an actual PSP I know they have
Yeah,
docks
yeah, yeah.
for the
There are
Go.
ways to play PSP.
For the
on it.
PSP Go, I know there's an actual dock and you can play with the controller, but can you do that with a regular PSP? Because I've only seen docks that have like speakers and audio connections. I've never seen one that lets you play with a controller. Am I crazy? Is there
I
one
feel
that
like
exists?
Forrest was talking about doing something like this. I'll have to mention it with him.
I think there have been modded ones where you're actually using the PSP as a controller and it's got an HDMI.
You can do that.
or
You can
whatever.
plug it into your PS3 and use it as a controller even and play it. I've seen that. I don't know. There's a
Forrest says
cable.
there's a cable, so I'm assuming you can. I'm
going to
pretty
do
sure.
some research because I want to get that set up, even though I have it all on my Steam Deck now. Steam Deck has ruined my collecting forever. It really has. I'm just like, why do I do anything anymore? It's all on the deck.
And it's more enjoyable. I love playing PS2 games on my computer because I don't have to wait for loading times. I don't have to put a memory card in there. It's it runs better, it looks better. It's just all these little quality of life things that now that I've experienced the quality of life changes, going back and not having them, it's hard and it's not enjoyable.
And coming from somebody with a room full of games, that's saying a lot. Like you've got those discs, you just don't want to play them on disc when you've become accustomed to that quality of life kind of improvement.
Exactly.
The upscaling of PS2 and PS1 games and stuff has been really hard to go back to the actual original hardware on some of them. It looks amazing on some of the games look so good. The PS2 games, unbelievable on the emulation. So I don't know. It's tough.
Meanwhile, I'm testing. I permanently have a station set up upstairs to test games that I clean, and I have a HDMI TV that I use my PS2 through, and the games look terrible. You don't realize how bad these games look on new technology. It's just oh, that wasn't what I remembered.
Yeah, I need to get a nice CRT. You guys have CRTs?
I've got one, but I don't have it plugged in.
I need one. I don't.
Yeah, my girlfriend's gonna
have to Andy.
if I bring a freaking CRT in this house right now. I have nowhere to put it. She'd be so mad. Some dude was selling a Sony Trinitron the other day for $50.
Oh man.
God, I want it. Can I please? She's like, where you gonna put it? I'm like, I don't know. On my side of the bed, I'll sleep on the floor. She's, no. It's I got nowhere to put it, but I want it so bad, dude. Freaking light guns alone are a reason to have one. And as far as I like light gun games, and you can't play them on your TVs unless you get the hardware. So,
but it's one of those things that you then need the room because you can't just play a light gun game sitting down at the TV. You need to be standing up. You need to have the room to do everything. It's just more fun. And if I'm thinking of doing that, I may as well just go down to an arcade and play their machines that are already set up. And Hey guys, I had a pretty awesome weekend. Would love to share it with you guys. The game I played, GeoGuessr, just had their first ever World Cup, getting into the esports scene. Last night they had the World Cup finals, and there was over 50,000 people watching GeoGuessr live, which is awesome for the game, and it was a really good live experience. So, some games are great, but they put them into esports and they just don't kick off like Valorant. Well, this is great. There was people coming in who had never watched the game before and understood what was going on. And yeah, shout out to Qantas for winning the World Cup. It was a really awesome experience, and I stayed up till 7:30 watching it, and I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. So
was it one day?
It was over 2 days. It was held in Sweden. There was 24 contestants from all around the world, and yeah, it was awesome.
Nice.
That is pretty cool.
It's cool to see new games getting into the esports scene. I know, Words for Friends have esports, and yeah, you don't think about it, but there's big communities.
Scrabble is serious business. There are people who take Scrabble real serious.
Yeah.
Leagues. Look at the chess scene. How serious that is these days. Chess is one of the biggest games in the world. We're talking 2023, and chess is one of the biggest games in the world. That's crazy, right?
Dude, all my nephews play chess. We all all the youngins, all those kids, they all play chess. I don't know how that happened, but I think seems to be something still popular.
YouTubers like Ludwig get into it, and that's who they're watching on YouTube. So you can, imagine all these kids, if their heroes are playing these games, are they going to jump in it too?
Yeah, I blame that Netflix show, The Queen's Gambit, that was really popular 2 years ago.
Yeah. that really kicked it off. You're right.
Seriously. And now Netflix has like on the Netflix game service, they've got like a chess game, which is a Queen's Gambit branded chess game. So yeah, it's crazy. I think that actually is in some way responsible for this weird chess resurgence that's going on.
No, you definitely right. Twitch has got a big thing to do with it too. Some of the biggest creators are pushing it, and chess is all over Twitch, which is great.
You guys ever heard of a game called Battle Chess?
I remember that
game.
Interplay, I think.
Yeah, I was a little kid. I remember we went to the Boston Museum of Science, and they had a computer lab. And this is back in the 90s, where like nobody owned computers. Like I said, they were real expensive. Like nobody even had them. So to be even play on a computer was like, oh yay, I was so excited. And I remember like of all the games, Battle Chess blew me away, dude. Like I was like, look at these animations. This is amazing. It was like so bad. If you watch it now, you'd be like, you were impressed by this? I was like, oh yeah, totally blown away. And I loved it. I was like totally obsessed with chess for a little while.
I do.
Game.
I remember having that, not in the museum, but I remember having that same impression. That's like, wait a second. So you're not just moving chess pieces, you're watching them fight when you get there. And
I was like,
blew my mind. Then they did the Star Wars version on like the Sega CD and the PC. That was by Software Toolworks back then, I think. But it was like, yeah, you see same exact idea. Darth Vader is like fighting against like R2-D2 or whatever when you take over the space.
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
It did. It was great. And like back, this is back in the day where like I was looking at like I think Shining Force or something. Like it was like that was the equivalent of a game. It was like so the animations were really amazing.
Yep.
So I don't know.
For sure.
Don't understand. Speaking of old games coming back, do you see that they remade Seventh Guest in VR? Did you hear that just came out?
I did not. That is.
I'm pretty excited about that, dude. That's like an old ass PC game, and I'm like dying to play it. But they remade it in VR.
That's amazing.
I know there already is.
Is that on PSVR too? Like, is it actually out already? Wow.
I don't know if it's out yet. It should be out like any day now. Like it's coming out real soon.
That is cool.
Maybe within a week or two.
Now I'm excited. Like, I'll be honest. So I never picked up a PSVR 2. But now I'm tempted. Like, if that's actually available, that in C Smash Versus, if you've seen that one, it's the reboot of Cosmic Smash, this weird Sega Dreamcast game that only came out in Japan. Those are the two that now I'm sold on the PSVR 2.
Cosmic Smash, I'll check that one out.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's kind of like Rez in its visuals, but it was like
Rez was great.
It was like ping pong in its gameplay. So it's ping pong meets Rez.
Nice.
Rez is dope, and like, man, I need to get that copy on PS4 before it gets out of control. It's starting to creep up pretty high. So there's two versions of Rez that got released. There's like the black cover is the original, and then there's like an orange with the one with an orange spine.
They did the first release of it, I believe.
They both. They did the same company did both. It's just the first print, and then there's like a second print. And the first print one is like starting to creep up between like 70 to 100 lowest. I've seen it. Like you used to be able to get it for like 50. Now it's going up. So I need to get that before it gets too late.
Yeah, and then the orange one's like a cardboard digipack. So if you want that plastic case, you should get that one before it goes up higher.
Yep. I slept on the Annapurna collection too. Sorry.
Do you guys own any chess boards or anything like that? Any chess sets?
Not me.
No, I mean, so when I was a kid, I had an uncle he was like, dude, like this guy, like he's like a Harry Potter character. He taught at like Boston Latin School, and like, you know, he was just like insane. He taught advanced like AP physics or something. Like this dude was out of his mind smart. And his house looked like, you know, I don't even know, like a library Indiana Jones would visit or something. It was just like all like leather books and mahogany and leather chairs with brass button. It was just like one of those places where like everything you walk in and I'm like, I'm not allowed to touch anything in here, am I? He's like, nope, not a damn thing. I'm like, okay. But he used to have this insanely gorgeous chess set, dude, with like ivory pieces carved by hand and all this crazy stuff, dude. And oh man, I used to like drool over that thing. I wanted it so bad. And he also had, we were a cool family. We were really into Star Trek. And he had the 3D Star Trek set. Have you seen the Star Trek The Next Generation one? Yeah, whatever. Yeah. He had the real game, and it was like a really nice set too, like really fancy. And I remember playing that with him. Yeah, dude. He also used to have You know, this is all coming back to me now. Why I probably collect shit. He had an amazing VHS collection, dude. Like he had every single movie that you would ever want to watch, and all the movies you weren't allowed to watch. So I loved going to his house because my parents would just go downstairs and he'd be like, "Go watch movies," and we'd put on something. And as soon as they leave, we'd be like, "Hell yeah, put on freaking Predator, baby! Let's go!" We would watch like just the craziest stuff. Oh, dude, I remember watching Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. So many crazy
movies.
movies.
Be worth a bit today. VHS has had a spike lately.
His collection would be worth a fortune, dude. He had all the good comedies too, all Caddyshack, like I said, all stuff that I was not supposed to be watching. I was like, heck yeah, we're watching this. All the Meatballs movies. He had everything.
I actually got a really nice chess set. I got a glass handmade chess set that was my grandma's, and me and my brother would always play, and Grandma just offered it to me one day. But unfortunately, because it's glass and it's so fragile, I have it packed away. And I used to have it set up, but then it kind of has to be the feature of the room. So it's packed away. I'll set it up and take a photo for you guys because it is amazing. But on the topic of chess sets, when I worked at the pawn shop, we got this chess set that was based on Lord of the Rings. There was like 40 of them made, and it was handmade, all from steel, copper, and they weighed like 30 kilos. And when we sold this thing for $2,500, absolutely amazing chess set. We'd have it set up at the counter, and customers would just come in and play us all day long. Chess is crazy. We would have homeless people come in and like destroy every single one of us at chess, and then this dude's like begging for $5 after the game, like absolutely just shows the intelligence of some people out there, you know. You feel for them.
Drugs, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, and you know what? I believe wholeheartedly is I honestly think people who are like really intelligent, sometimes they need drugs because they can't handle their own freaking heads, dude. Like, you know, if your head's moving at 1,000 miles an hour all the time, sometimes you need something to slow it down. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're spot on there, Joe. Hey guys, I think it's time that we jump into the big quiz.
Let's talk about life and philosophy. I don't know. Let's talk about video games. Video game time, quiz time.
Before we start, let's pull up chat scores and we'll get chat's question up. So as you guys know, first person in chat to get to 5 points will win a video game shipped anywhere in the world. Right now, we have on 4 points 2 people. We've got Jason Trickster and Mario. On 3 points, we've got Banfi and the Collectionist. Cyrus is on 2 points. And then on 1 point, we've got Windy Corner TV, Jimmy J, Lulu Girl, and Westman. So guys, chat's question this week, and I need the full video game title. First person to name the full title in chat gets the point. Here's your question.
Wow, there's a lot going on there.
There is a lot going on here. The scores will reset, Cyrus, once someone gets to 5 points. Okay, Jason, Joe. Jason, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to choose if you want to go first or second tonight.
You know what? I will go second tonight. Thank you for.
What's everybody sees? Everyone's strategizing against me. Now they see me losing. That's what I hate. That. By the way, I just want to recap the score from last week real quick before we start. I do believe that is accurate.
That's not what I've got written down here, but
that's what's in the system here.
And once again, big shout out to Pavel for the questions. They're really awesome tonight.
Now I have the theme song stuck in my head for the picture in the bottom middle. That's all I'm saying. I want to give it away, but that's it, Fuji.
That's a classic. Love that game.
Almost.
The DLC sucked though.
Yeah.
Let me just check that answer. That one might be right. Sorry, I'm
just wow.
Here goes.
That sounds pretty possible, right?
Can confirm Cyrus has correctly answered the game with Disney Lions King Simba's Mighty Adventure. Congrats, Cyrus.
Oh, Disney! I didn't get that, but now I do. That's so funny.
Oh,
yeah, it's good, isn't it? Cool tattoo, actually. Well done, Cyrus. That was good, man. All right, let's get into the quiz, guys. Question
Let's do
number
it.
1 will be for Joe.
All right.
Joe, question 1. What
Mhm.
game didn't have its own Netflix series? Cuphead, Borderlands, Tekken, or Castlevania?
I will say Borderlands.
Correct answer was Borderlands.
Just because
Okay.
I would have definitely
Tekken,
known about
Castlevania,
that.
and Cuphead.
I've never seen Cuphead. I've seen the Tekken and
Cuphead,
Castlevania.
yeah.
Interesting. You ever seen that? Anybody?
Looks like it might
I've
be a
seen
kid
it.
show, but mostly getting like Happy Tree Friends vibes. So
Yeah, they like make deals with Satan in that game. There's no way that's a kid show.
The thing I don't get about the Cuphead animated series, the animation style is totally different from the games, and the animation style is what makes the games what they are. So I don't know what they were thinking there.
They didn't do the old school 30s. That's stupid. Yeah, what I'm talking about missing the mark.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
vaguely 30s. It's just a totally different style. Like it doesn't look like the
Mm.
characters look different. They move different. It's
Yeah.
disappointing.
I do like me some Cuphead. That's a fun game.
Moving on to question number 2.
Sorry.
Jason, this one's for you. Which James Bond game has a cheat code on the front cover? Is it 007 The Duel, GoldenEye 007, 007 Racing, or From Russia with Love?
So I've owned all 4 of those, and I didn't know there was a cheat code on the cover of any of them. So
That's because we're honest and we don't cheat.
That's
Talking to
right.
2 real gamers right here.
I was cheating on the PS1 days. That was the day where I was
All right, I cheated in GTA 3.
printing things off the internet and
I cheated in
writing my own
GTA.
cheat codes down. And
man, and incidentally, that top one is terrible. That was on the Sega
I've never
Genesis.
heard of that game. That's on all of them. I was like, what the hell is the Duel?
Bad. Like I mean, I'm a big Bond fan, and that one actually had Timothy Dalton on the cover. That was pre-Pierce Brosnan when like Timothy Dalton did those 2 movies, and he was forgotten about.
Yeah.
I digress. I'm gonna say 007 Racing.
correct answer was 007 Racing.
Nice
So the
job,
number
dude.
plate had a cheat code
Thank
on the
you.
front, which is pretty cool.
Oh man.
Oh,
Didn't
the
even realize.
license plate L1R1.
Yeah, the
Oh,
license
yeah. That's pretty cool.
That is.
All right, moving on to question 3. Jay, this one's for you. From a boat floating on the Thames, which is a river in the UK, a large image was projected on the wall of the UK House of Commons building. Which game console was advertised this way?
Okay, that's just great, whatever it is. Who are those people? I wish I knew British politicians. That would come in handy right now. Try to determine what year we're looking at. It's very Street Fighter-y looking. Oh, God. Dude, it could be so many things. Oh, screw it. I'll say PlayStation 1. I don't know. PS1.
Incorrect. Jason, for the steal?
Man, like this doesn't even look like it matches visually any kind of game.
Oh, no. That's not. I know the company. I got the game wrong. I know what that game is now.
Man, I am gonna say Sega Saturn.
That's what I think it is. Is that it? I think that's what it is.
Correct
Yeah,
answer.
you bastard. Because that's Virtua Fighter characters. That isn't freaking Street Fighter.
Well done, Jason. That was good.
Thank
That
you.
was a cool question. Oh,
That was a good one. That was a good one. Well
All
done.
right, moving on to question 4. Jason, this one's for you. What have the PS4 games Hidden Gender, Fantastic, That's You, and SingStar Celebrations and Knowledge is Power have in common?
Those are all PlayLink games that had a mobile companion app where you would do input on the mobile app and it would interact with the game.
Correct. They're all the PlayLink games for the PS4.
Hidden Agenda. Don't sleep on that one. That's actually pretty fun.
It's a good one. I
Now
would say,
here's-
like, even if you don't own any of these games, download these apps because I'm sure they're not going to be in the store forever.
Yeah, you're spot on there.
That's something I was thinking about. Imagine someday I'm going to be like, let's play Hidden Agenda. Bust out the 6 Android phones I saved from 2006. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have to have old ass phones to play that.
Where's my iPhone 4? Let's play.
And
Hidden
then
Agenda.
it'll be like, this game needs an update to play.
Yeah.
It's gonna
That's
happen.
It doesn't work anymore. You've lost the licenses.
Hidden Agenda is a fun time if you like party games and you like
It's a good one.
mysteries or an event. Yeah, it's fun.
Before we move on to the next round, we'll give you guys a quick score update. Joe's got 1 point.
we don't have to do that.
Jason's out in the early lead of 3 points. Moving on to question number 5. Joe, this one's for you. Who wears t-shirts with this logo?
Oh my god. That's pretty familiar, and I'm going to be very angry when I don't know it. I'm just going to say, no, that's not right. Let's not be hasty. Let me think about this for a second. Hold on, let me think about this. God, it's so familiar. I'm just going to say Bomberman.
It's not Bomberman. Jason?
Mm-mm.
So this is probably going to be wrong, but I feel like that's the logo from. Maybe I'm totally off here, but I want to say it's the logo from the Serious Sam games, and which I've never played. So I'm going to go down this path of either I'm totally right or wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm going to say, hey,
That is
Serious.
the logo from the Serious Sam
Nice
games.
job,
Jason
dude.
nailed it.
Thank you, man. Never played it. Just recognize the logo.
Awesome
Yeah.
artwork, by the way.
I've never played those either, but I did order the Special Reserve collection or whatever.
Nice.
Yep.
All right, moving on to
That
question
was good,
number
man.
6.
Thank
Jason,
you.
this one's for you. Now I'm going to show you a limited edition PlayStation Vita. You have to tell me what game it's from.
I think that is a Metal Gear Solid, I want to say, game. And I'm trying to remember what the title of the Metal Gear Solid Vita game is. But I believe it's a Metal Gear Solid game. I don't know. Oh, hey. Oh, damn it.
Not
I
a
saw
Metal Gear Solid game.
now I see the Namco Bandai. I wish I read the whole screen, but
Gonna hand this one over to Joe.
Dude, I wish I knew. Even with that hint, I still don't know. It's like a play on the UN logo. Bandai Namco, huh? God, it's an army fatigue? Damn, dude. Sony Computer Entertainment. Resistance.
So that was God Eater 2.
Mm.
would not have
What?
thought of
No,
that.
I have no connection to that to military.
If you didn't know it, I guess that one would have been tough for sure.
Well, it looks like an army game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the logo, maybe I'm sure the logo is probably recognizable.
I actually would have guessed Monster Hunter myself.
That would have
would
been a good
wrong
one.
as well. All right, moving on to question number 7. This one is for Joe. And these are our picture questions for the week. So, Joe, here is yours. I need the video game.
Okay. Five Nights at Freddy's.
That is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Hell yeah.
And Jason, here's your question. I need the full video game.
Did you guys? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Man. Okay. I want to say that first game is Lost in the Rain or Rain. Could be wrong. Man. So it looks like there's an archer, there's a bow guy, there's, I don't know, soccer guy, and it looks like Vegas. Knights. Okay. Man.
No pressure, but I know it.
Rainbow Six.
Oh no, you know it too. Stop it.
Oh man. Hold on.
Nope, you're way off. Definitely
Put
a
it on
dinosaur
the
game.
other
Think
game.
dinosaurs.
Rainbow Six Vegas.
Damn it.
That is Rainbow Six Vegas.
Well
That was a
done.
good one, man.
Thank you.
When you start
All right,
to
guys,
sound
at the end of
out.
round 8, Jason's got a lead of 5 points. Joe is behind on 2 points. We now move into our final round, round 9. And round 9 has 15 points available. Anyone?
Bro, we
can-
need a cool sound effects for this final round. We need like we need like something for that. Sorry.
Yeah. And our final round is going to be sound effects again. You guys loved it
Uh,
last week.
No, it's
However,
fun.
it's going to go easier to harder. First question will be easy. Number 15 will be one of the hardest you'll have to ever answer. So,
I was terrible at this playing along the last time, so this will be fun.
well,
These are
Joe
hard.
might make it even.
These all tickle my brain, but I can never pinpoint them because it's always like, All right, good. Who's going first? Me? Can I go first?
All right, so Joe, you'll be going
right?
first as you're
All right.
behind. And
Okay.
we will go in turns. So, first sound for Joe.
This isn't a game. This is the PS1 boot up noise.
That is the PS1 boot up noise.
Yeah.
Question.
Is that Nintendo?
Question 2, Jason. This is your sound.
That is it is a Game Boy startup screen, and now okay, it's the Game Boy Advance startup screen.
That is the Game Boy
Well done.
Advance startup screen.
Well done.
Question 3, Joe.
That immediately made me remember Minish Cap playing that. I was like immediately. It's Metal Gear Solid.
That's Metal Gear Solid. Give me 1 second. 4's not there.
It's just silence. Good luck, bro. Which game was there? Where's this from? Nothing.
All right, number 4.
Get over here!
Well, that would be Mortal Kombat, but do I
That's
need to
Mortal
name?
Kombat. That was the answer I'm looking for.
That's the game. That's the game.
All right, number 5, Joe. This one's for you.
China.
Street Fighter?
That's
Street
correct.
Fighter. Street Fighter 2.
Number 6, Jason.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's Sonic the Hedgehog. Moving on to number 7, Joe.
Dark Souls?
Not Dark Souls. Joe has his first strike. 3 strikes and you're out. Jason? Now, Jason, you can choose to pass or answer here.
Oh, you didn't tell me that, man. I could have passed.
I'm going to go with pass.
Okay, we will come back to that one.
Cheater.
Question number 8. This is for Jason. Actually, this is for Joe because Jason passed.
It is?
Joe?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you want. Oh, that's Mario Kart.
That's Mario Kart. And Jason, this is for you.
Heavy machine gun.
Oh wow, I know this.
Heavy machine gun.
Metal Slug.
Correct. That's Metal Slug.
Nice job. I was thinking that at Time Crisis.
Thank you.
Joe, this one's for you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
God, I know that. One more time? Can you do that again?
Thank you.
Shit. Pass for now. I'm going to pass. I think I do know it, but I'm not going to guess.
Jason?
Is that Resident Evil 4?
That is the merchant from Resident Evil 4, the game Joe just finished.
Shut up, bro. That's why I knew it, but I didn't want to guess. All right.
All right, Joe, this one's for you.
Sounds like Super Mario Brothers.
That's the power-up sound from Mario. Jason, this one's for you.
Everybody, ho, 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 ho.
I recognize that. Could I hear that one more time?
Yep.
Everybody, ho, 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 ho.
I am not going to get that. I don't know.
Yeah, passing.
So if I'm passing, does that mean I'm just saying I don't know? I don't know what that is, or does it come back to me later if I pass?
I get a chance to answer if you pass.
Okay.
If Joe passes as well, we'll go on to the next one, but we will go back to these ones at the end. So.
I will pass.
Okay, Joe?
Parappa the Rapper.
That is Parappa the Rapper.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jason, question 13.
Objection.
That is Phoenix Wright.
That's correct. Wow. Joe, question 14. These are the hard ones.
Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
One more time.
Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
That's terrible voice acting. I'm going to say House of the Dead.
Joe has a second strike. Jason?
So I'm probably wrong. I'm going to say Duke Nukem.
Jason has his first strike.
Oh, man.
Now, we are still on the same question. Joe, you can choose to pass.
I'll pass for now.
Okay, now we're moving on to question 15. Jason?
Game over, yeah!
I recognize that too.
It's got to be Sega, whatever the hell it is.
It sounds Sega-ish for sure.
It's just so bad.
Oh wait,
I
Daytona.
could be wrong though.
Incorrect. Jason has a second strike. Yeah?
Well, one more time. That's like it. See, I've never gotten game over in a game. I always win. I wouldn't know. Just kidding. Dude, I'm gonna pass for now. Can we go back to the other ones?
Yep. All right. Jason, now we've passed. We're going back to question 7.
This is me or Jason.
Pass. I need an answer now.
Who's going?
Who's going?
This is
It's me.
Oh, okay.
I'll play one more time.
I want to. If I have to choose, maybe that I want to say that's a Castlevania something.
Incorrect. Jason's now locked out. Joe is behind on the score, but Joe is the only one who can answer.
Is it Elden Ring? Elden Ring?
Not Elden Ring.
Fuck.
Joe's locked out. The answer we were looking for, and people are screaming in chat, that is the death sound from Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh,
Man,
figures. I knew it was a death sound, clearly,
Yeah.
but that metallic sound,
that's what threw me off.
it
And the
sounded
other
to
one we
me
didn't
like
get,
it was a
we didn't get 14 and 15, and I have videos of these ones. So 14.
Die, monster. You don't belong in this world.
was from
It's wrong
Castlevania.
Castlevania, Jason.
And that's the Castlevania I meant.
Yeah.
One of you guys said Sega. You were onto it with Sega. That you just
Yeah.
missed what game it was.
So was that Sega Rally?
That was
Rally
Sega
Evo?
Rally.
Yeah, you were right on the money. See, I would have guessed Daytona.
Yeah.
So when you said Daytona, it wasn't that. I got cold feet. I was like, shit, that's exactly what I thought it was, because it's definitely a Sega racing game, and I just didn't.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the art or the animations, like, yeah, it's Sega Rally.
After a thrilling end to the quiz, we had final scores of Joe on 8 points, but today's winner on 11 points is Jason. Well done, Jason.
Thank you. I think this is the first quiz I've won, so
Oh,
Very
big
nice,
moment.
sir.
the streak starts now.
Well earned. That was good, man.
And
Great
well
quiz.
done to Cyrus for once again getting another point. Cyrus moves up to 3 points in the chat quiz, and you guys will have to stay around for our next show to see if you can win another point.
Those were really fun, and like
Yeah.
I like how they got harder. I like that, because I was like, cool, get some easy
Yeah.
ones, make me feel comfortable.
And it was definitely the case because the last two were the hardest two, and you both didn't get
For
them.
sure. For sure. Good questions.
Disappointed that you didn't get GTA 5.
Me too.
So there are a couple games that I have not put a lot of time into, and that's one of them. Like, I haven't played a lot of time into GTA 5. Tons in 3, 4, yeah, it's not a lot in 5.
And I guess you
Same.
just didn't die when you played it, right? You just wouldn't have heard that sound much.
Exactly. Like, I would never. How would I know?
Well, you have to die to hear that? I've never heard that one before.
Now, I'll be honest. On the Sega arcade racing game, I would have heard that. You're gonna lose on Daytona or Sega Rally. It's gonna cost you money to play that. They were definitely gonna steal your money. But man, some just hits about Sega arcade games. The way they did stuff, they have such a vibe.
Yep. Yep, for sure. And did you hear like the new? I was gonna say Yakuza, but Like a Dragon, it's actually gonna have Sega Rally 2, or no, Daytona 2, in the actual game, like in the arcades for the first time. It's the
Oh, that's
first
so
ever
cool.
release of Daytona 2.
They should do that though, because like that's
That
a
is
Yakuza
really
game.
cool.
You go into an arcade, find a machine, and it's like a game that you can play for 3-4 hours. That's Yakuza.
So awesome. Like, I mean, I remember like back in the Dreamcast days, I was wishing that would come out, and now here it is in an arcade in another game on a console like 4 generations
That's
later.
such a that's definitely a Wikipedia note.
Yeah.
If you would like the only way to own this game physically is you have to buy Like a Dragon. You have to go into the arcade on level 7 or whatever.
Yeah, you got to put 20 hours into the game first, and then you can play it. Like
That would be horrible.
I was just thinking about picking that game up. It was on sale for like $15, something like that. It's really cheap.
Jason, you shared something recently. It was a Chinese English only game that has sort of like a Yakuza feel to it on the PS4.
So there is a Chinese English one. There's a PS5 Chinese exclusive that I recently picked up, and I'm not actually sure if it's got English. To be honest, I don't believe it does in the disc version, but I have that in some pickups if you want to check out some of that stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if I know you got some awesome stuff to show. If you wanted to show off some of your pickups.
Yeah, man, that sounds good. So okay, let me find that one in particular. I think this is the one you're talking about, but there were only 3 Chinese exclusive PS4 games, and this is the very first China exclusive PS5 game, and that one it's called Underdog Detective.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. We only had
that,
one.
That's the FMV, right? I gotta get this.
It's
I have to order
FMV.
this.
It's available in the US PlayStation Store, so you can actually download it and play it in English, but the only physical disc release is in China.
It doesn't have English on it? I thought it did.
I don't think the disc has English. The game is playable in English, but you got to get it in the
Patch
US part. Well, you can't even patch it. Like, you can get the US download, but this is not.
That's not the US download. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So it actually
good to know.
plays. I'm not sure that you really need the. I mean, it's available in English, so I want to download it and play it in English. But I'm not sure you really need the English to play it. It's just kind of entertaining to make choices and see what plays out with
It's probably more entertaining when you have no idea what the hell's happening. You're just like, what's this?
Exactly.
And all of a sudden the guy's like, oh, it gets all mad and kills somebody. You're like, oh my god.
Exactly.
And
And it plays out like there's vignettes. And what's even more entertaining is that it takes place at in the distant past. So it's like a period drama with B actors, and I just love crap like that. It's so weird. But yeah, so this is one I'm pretty happy about just for its sheer weirdness.
I need to get that. I need to get that Sherlock Holmes game that came out in Korea with the English. I love, dude. I don't know what it is. I love mystery games. I don't know. As I get older, I'm just like some games. I'm just like, dude, I just want to.
I'm the same.
I don't know what it is. I'm like the new Agatha Christie game. I'm all excited for it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, those games are fun. And I don't know. I also I game a lot with my girlfriend, in the room, you know what I mean? So I love anything that we can kind of co-op, even if it's a one-player game. So I love story games and mystery games and puzzle games and stuff because we can work on it together.
Totally. Interactive narrative stuff where puzzle solving kind of, I just love that stuff as well. Anybody in the room, you can just kind of, just make decisions together and see how it plays out.
Dude, it's so fun to play the Supermassive games like Until Dawn or any of those games too. And we take turns with the characters, and it's like, you got us killed. I'm sorry. It's so fun, dude.
For sure. I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, the anxiety of it all.
So these are, I guess, because I haven't been on in quite a while, right? This is, I guess, my pickups, some of the greatest hits, right, of the last, I don't know, I'll say month and a half, 2 months. But this one I'm super excited about because it came freaking out of nowhere and I missed it. And I was like, man, am I ever going to get that one? And so this one is Super Perils of Baking.
Ooh,
that's that?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Prize.
So it comes in this, I want to say it's almost handmade feeling. Comes in this box and it's individually numbered, not the game, but it comes with a numbered certificate.
Mm-hmm.
And these just dropped out of nowhere.
PS4?
PS4. And so
Nice.
yeah, it's an East Asia Soft
East
published.
Asia Soft.
Yep. But so what's really weird is that these dropped out of nowhere with very little warning, and I
Only
missed
500 too. That's a low number for a PS4 game.
only 500 sold as of now. But I mean, as you know, like the print run, minimum print run is 1,000. So there's another 500 out there. Well, when I say out there, I mean in their possession.
Existence.
And so they haven't released it yet, but they've said that they're going to release it in some way. But when they do, it just won't include this outer box. They haven't decided what they're going to do with it.
It reminds me of on Epic. They did the collector's edition, only 500, and then like 2 years later, they released the normal standard edition in a slipcover.
And then a split.
Exactly.
There's like 7 versions of Unepic that you can buy now.
Yep.
Seriously, there's so many.
It's true.
Hilarious. Just on Unepic.
Where- so
the way
where did
they
that,
did the collector's
Oh.
edition, they only gave emails to people who spent a certain amount of money at PlayAsia. Like I was a regular buyer, I didn't get the email, but one of my friends did. So he bought a copy for me, and I was pretty pissed off that I didn't even have the opportunity to buy it. You know,
I
You're
got
not a
that
Shogun, dude? Come on, man.
I got that email, and like my friend didn't get it, and it was weird because I had bought every Play exclusive at that point, and my friend did as well. So I got the email, he didn't. It was very weird. But I was like texting him at like I got the email at like 11 p.m., 12 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm like texting him on the East Coast at like 2 in the morning, like, dude, pick this up.
Yeah,
And I
go,
think-
go, go. Yeah.
I think I got one for him
they
as
get
well.
their customers, and but then they had an order limit of 2. So why do that and
It's
order
crazy.
limit of 2, put order limit of 1, and give it to twice the amount of people?
But so the Super Perils of Baking, like it was, it's like some kind of like it's a video series with like developers. I can't remember. I guess it says here it's Lily Mo Games, so maybe that's
Yeah,
what
I was
they're
gonna.
called.
Was it through PlayAsia? Did you buy it?
No, like so they self-released it, even though East Asia Soft published it. It was
Mhm.
distributed by the actual developers on their own website, and
Oh,
I think they launched it like alongside the game, and you had to like be like on their Patreon to get the heads up they were going to release
Wow.
it, which I wasn't. And so it sold out, and I got it off eBay for like significantly more than it was. Like it was released for like $40 or whatever.
Mhm.
I paid a lot more than that, unfortunately. But like I'm happy just to own it because like I wasn't a subscriber to their Patreon. Like I don't know when those other 500 are going to come out. I think they'll come out at some point. But I'm just happy to have it because it's so bizarre.
That's
I
really
kind of do
cool.
like that though, because at least the people buying that 500 are fans. They're not going to be scalpers or anything because they have to be aware of the game before it's coming out.
Generally, except for the one guy I guess I got it from. He was a scalper, and so I was happy to find that one scalper. There's actually one on eBay right now for like $5,000 or best offer. So I guess there's 2 scalpers out there, but it's still crazy. What else?
Really cool though, man.
Thank you, man. So limited rare games. People started to receive their copies of Super Blood Hockey this week, which is not the mystery game, the one before the mystery game.
Yeah. So wait for my mystery game. Oh yeah.
Yep, me too. But I got
Oh,
both
nice, dude. You got the
FOMO cover. Let's go.
got the
That's
FOMO
awesome.
cover. This is what okay, so some backstory, right? You had to buy an NFT to get this. It was the biggest freaking hassle because I don't think that they knew what they were doing when they came up with that.
Boris know NFT very well.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean Boris not so much. Ivan a little bit more than Boris, but yeah. So like what they had said was it's going to be an exclusive game. Only like they sold bear NFTs, and it was super weird. Limited rare bear NFTs. I mean, they went way too. They went like too far with that. But so you had to buy this NFT, right? They said it was going to be an exclusive game that you cannot get any other way. And then they only sold 555 NFTs. Then it became an exclusive cover variant, not an exclusive game. But an
Yeah, you
exclusive
can get that
variant.
at Switch Premium. You get
But
some blood
they
on
would
it
have
for $40
They
on
can't
Switch.
print a game with 550 copies. I
That's
kind of
exactly it.
understand that.
Yeah, so I get it, but it was kind of like, wow, really anticlimactic when they said exclusive game, then it's exclusive cover. So the irony, right? You can only print 1,000 PS or minimum 1,000 PS4 games. There are at least 555 of these, so it makes me wonder: is this more limited than this, the regular cover? That
Yeah. Think about it. Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, that's the irony. I think just as
That's
many
really
exist.
funny.
So I'm happy to have it. Like, they did the fake error cover. Originally, they said they wanted to put no title on the cover, but Sony wouldn't let them do it. So instead, they turned it sideways, and Sony let them do it. So there's that. It looks like a
I
mistake.
can just imagine Sony being like, these freaking guys ask us for the dumbest shit. What? Like, are we
And
allowed
then-
to like package it in like like with Jello? They're like, no, stop! What are you trying to do?
That sounds like something they would ask for too. And like, so you look at the back, right? This is the quote unquote FOMO cover. Oops, they forgot the artwork, so it's plain white on this one on the back.
I kind of like it though. It's different.
I appreciate it. And like on the spine, same thing. The FOMO cover is just white. Like,
No.
oops, we forgot. It was a
I
mistake.
would argue that for the fact that it was such a big hassle to go through, and all they did was turn it sideways, is a little bit lousy.
I'm go on.
I said I think the most shocking thing about those covers is there's not a speck of blood on them. What the hell?
It's a little anticlimactic.
Why is there no blood? It's called
There's a
Super
bloody font.
blood
but-
hockey. Yeah, but what the, I would expect a little violence. Okay.
I agree. Well, actually, one fun side note: there is a legit error on both of them, where the description says it's up to 4 players in the description, right? Like, which is right there on the back of the box, and it says 1 to 2 players in the lower left corner.
That's pretty awesome.
I think that was actually an
Well,
unintentional.
technically,
Unless
if,
it's online, and then that would make sense. Because if you can
you
play
can
online,
share a controller. Like you take the left side, and someone else takes the right buttons, and then
You
you can
could.
play that way with 4 people.
This is true. This is all true.
This is how I get
Don't
it.
laugh, guys. Worms on PS1 says you can play with 4 people, meaning you can use 1 controller for 4 people.
Loophole.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, that's true. You can pass it around.
That's
There you
how
go.
we used to play it though, because it was a turn-based game. So
Need for Speed is the same way. You can just pass the controller around. Everybody takes turn. It's multiplayer. There you go.
So the next one, I have a feeling someone has shown this. It might have been you, Joe, but late release PSVR title, Desperate. Vlad.
Vlad of Stuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Russian, like Limited Rare Games.
It's supposed to be a bullet hell, like a shmup VR game. It looks amazing. I kind of want to
Does
play
look
it.
really good. Yeah, that does look
Yeah,
really cool.
The only other announced PSVR 1 release that I know of is the new Walking Dead game that's coming out, Retribution 2. I think that's the only one that I know of right now for VR 1 that's still announced.
I think that might be the last. I guess we'll have to see. Right?
It even comes out. It's been up for pre-order for like 2 years, dude.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's not good. Sounds like they're PS1 VR's not a thing anymore. Let's remake it and put it out on PS2.
There was a ton of companies that had announced PSVR 1 releases, and they were like, they all got dropped.
Yep.
So we'll see.
And it makes sense too, because if it's different technology, then they basically have to make 2 games.
Yeah, dude, the install base is tiny enough that I bet there's not a lot of people still out there buying physical PSVR 1 games.
So next, I got a little bit more German shovelware. We've already seen the sheep, but
Shovelware, that's good stuff, man. I know what you mean. Ultimate Runner.
that's true. That's AAA, and this is quadruple
really good.
A.
This looks like Temple Run on the phone, and I'm sure it plays the same too.
That's totally right. That's completely accurate.
Wow.
This
I've
was
actually enjoyed this though, so I probably want to pick it up. Not gonna lie.
I like runners.
I mean, well, this is the ultimate one. So
It's the ultimate. That's right. I mean, if you like it, that you have to screw Super Meat Boy too. You
No.
need is Ultimate Runner.
you stop here. This is the end. I mean, it's the ultimate runner.
Look at
But-
that guy.
What's funny, I mean, this was PS4 shovelware like literally 5 years ago. They ported it to the Switch like 2-3 years ago, and now it's the same thing on PS5. But I mean, you can't blame them because it is the ultimate runner.
Bro,
So-
they should have just thrown the word deluxe edition on it and given you like a funny hat and pair of green underwear. Call it a day. Why didn't they? Come on.
Because that's work.
Yeah, that's what the deluxe edition is. You get like a little in-game outfit.
I mean,
Just
I think
turn
that,
the cover around sideways. That's all you got to do.
no, it's true. But to be fair, I mean, it was the ultimate runner the first time 5 years ago in the PS4, so you can't improve ultimate.
That's
So-
you have a point. I mean, what else can you? I mean, it is what it is.
There is no better.
Ultimate 10 cheeky.
True. To go with the shovelware theme, this is actually new shovelware. I have a PS5 version as well on the shelf, but
Elaborate.
What? Is
so this is a digital, what I don't know, adaptation of like a popular board game in
Oh,
Europe.
I
I
have
guess?
that board game. That game's fucking awesome. Labyrinth.
Oh, is this?
Yeah.
It's
I
new
know
Labyrinth?
it.
I have that game. That game is really good.
I won't lie, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's basic, but
Dude,
I kind of want to play it.
That game, I had that game. Dude, this is all coming around. You know where I got that game?
No.
The Boston Museum of Science when I was a little kid at the gift shop. That was like a brain game. So that game is like it's like
Oh my God.
it's like a high level thinking board game. It's not like an easy game. Like, and I used to play it with my mom, and because she, and dude, this is wild.
Was it like
That's
wooden?
the same game?
Was
yeah,
it like
it was really nice.
I do remember
really
that. I didn't
nice
realize
set,
that was
yeah.
the same one. I thought this was a rip off of that, but maybe it's that. I'm not
If
sure.
it is, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it's that, I'm excited. If it's just some crappy game, then no. But if it's that game, I'm excited.
I mean, apparently there were 20 million in sold, so maybe this
It's
is that
gotta
one.
be. It's gotta be.
Surely.
Damn. Okay. Well, now I'm actually a little more excited. I'm glad I brought this on.
Seriously, now I want to go through my basement, see if I can find that damn thing. I'm sure it's down there.
So this one I've shown in one of the groups, but so I Am 8-Bit had a Psychonauts 1 and 2 bundle. It was like $150, I want to say. Maybe it was more. It was some crazy price. Like,
It was very expensive.
yeah, but what's cool about it is that they did their own repress of Psychonauts 1 with an exclusive cover that was only in that collection. And so that's this.
That's cool, man.
So awesome.
I actually love the cover too.
It's pretty cool. Like,
I like the green.
The previous two were published by Limited Run, although one of them was sold by I Am 8-Bit. It was like a partnership where it was a Limited Run published game.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought those along just to show for reference.
That's so cool, man.
They got a standard retail release as well?
No, it never got like a standard retail release. There were the two Limited Run of Psychonauts 1 on PS4, and then there was the one in the set.
Yeah, and then they have a VR one too.
This one?
That got a retail.
The VR one. That's
Yeah.
the VR one. The Psychonauts Rhombus Ruin, yeah.
Yep. So it's interesting that so this one was the second release by Limited Run, and it actually did get the I Am 8-Bit logo on the back so that's kind of interesting to see their logos side by side. But this one's purely I Am 8-Bit.
That's really awesome, dude. Yeah, Psychonauts 2, like, it's insanely expensive forever. I showed that in the pickups recently. I got that deluxe version or whatever, because there's like no regular version. I don't think there's like a standard regular retail for Psychonauts 2, right? There's only the deluxe version. So
that's the one with the lenticular slip cover.
Exactly, yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, it was like $80 since it came out forever, and so I got it on Woot for like $25. I was really stoked.
Yeah, and like I bought that before at retail before I bought the set, and inside that set for Psychonauts 2, it's the exact same copy. So I'm like, well, damn it, now I've got it twice. But I really bought it just for that Psychonauts 1. So
that's really cool.
So the rest I've got here, most of them are Switch. I'm more of a PlayStation person, but I do collect Switch as well when it's interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so these two were from PAX. I want to say West, whatever the most recent PAX was. I wasn't there, but they release sometimes cover variants by some of the independent covers.
They had one at Portland PAX this weekend. I see Limited Run Games just announced. If you come to our booth, you can get this special cover.
Oh, man. I got to look that up as soon as this is over. Because I know what's happening this weekend. I know it's not too far away comparatively. I'm in California.
Yeah, Reggie's there right now, I think.
Damn. I got to know what's over there. I'm out of the loop right now. But so these two were from Serenity Forge.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Those are good games.
Yeah, but what's really cool, you put them together, and it's
that is cool. The infinity sign.
So cool, infinity.
And then the different colors and the clouds even line up and everything. That's really cool.
And they're also limited to 500 copies. You could actually get these in their web store as well.
Love how they're numbered.
Yeah, and they'll give you the same number.
Same numbers. Oh, that's so cool.
I love it.
That is really cool, dude.
I love that. Yeah, you got to respect the company for doing that, because they would have sent everyone the same numbers who ordered too.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Freaking awesome. And actually during PAX, these were only $25 each. So this was like $50 for the pair of same numbered copies for like matching cover. I love it.
They're fun games too, guys. Like, they're not like, they're like little indie racing games, but the physics in them are really solid. And they're real. I don't know. I like Top Dog Race. You ever guys play like Micro Machines? Any of those games when you were a kid? I love all that stuff. Off road and
off road. That was the one I was trying to think of. I used to love that.
Me too.
But yeah, I love those kind of games.
Hey guys, I just wanted to share something quickly. Sarah sends me his pickups, and he's just sent me something that, like, my jaw has just dropped because I've seen this game once. It's the rarest Engage game. Of like, oh my god, Sega Rally.
Yeah.
If you guys are aware of this game,
It's sealed.
this is like, oh my god, that's like an NBA Elite 11 type
Right.
thing. Well done, Cyrus. That is amazing, man. I know he's going for a full N-Gage set.
That's
And yeah,
really cool, dude.
Full N-Gage set, including Sega Rally. That is so impressive. Not to mention the awesome big box PC games you've got there as well.
Yeah, I think that Sega Rally was like, I mean, obviously that's an Australian copy, but I think it only existed.
Only got released in Australia, Australian exclusive. But I believe it's region 3, the N-Gage.
Correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Do you need like a phone subscription to still play that? Or
No, I don't think you ever did. Oh, to go online with it, you mean?
I don't know. For some reason, I can't remember. Must be a different service. I thought there was some gaming service for phones where, like, if you want to use it, you still have to pay for like some service to Verizon or something. I just can't remember what it is. I think John Hancock was talking about it. Maybe it was something else.
That's interesting. I assumed it was always the rarest. Is it more expensive than Civilization?
There's no online, which got to be a different thing I'm talking about then.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that's crazy rare though, so that's awesome to see.
It's really cool.
Yeah, well done, man.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, go on.
Tony Hawk on the N-Gage. How's that possible? How can you play that on the phone? That's gotta be brutal.
There's one copy on eBay and it's $3,000 for Sega Rally. So, oh no, there's another one for $10,000.
Oh my goodness,
it's better.
Damn. So to go with the theme of convention exclusives, so this is one that was from the same exclusive at PAX West, I think. So from PM Studios, they had a cover variant of Blade Assault. This was limited to 200, and it's just
game.
It is a great game. And like, so this is just a cover variant. It's not numbered on the back, but there were 200 of these. They also have them or had them in their online web store. But
that's a sick game, dude. That's going to be really collectible down the line.
I think so too. I mean, like it sold out pretty quick. The copies at the show and then the remaining copies online. But it gets better because there is another variant of Blade Assault, and this has an interesting story behind it.
The Fuse variant. Okay, yeah, I've heard of this.
So the only way to get this Fuse variant, so PM Studios has like a social app, which I had never heard of, to be honest, called Fuse. And it's like, it's all game themed. It's like a game themed social media kind of app where like you review games, you can talk about games. It was in alpha. I hadn't heard about it. I guess it's exiting the alpha phase now. But what they had done was so there were 200 copies of this Fuse variant as well. They debuted it at PAX West, and if you could level up to level 10, and you could show them at the show that you've leveled up, and you level up by like making reviews and commenting and liking and getting followers and all that, like social media kind of stuff, they would give you this copy at the show. So they brought 100 copies to the show. If you could prove that you got it, they would hand it to you. And just,
I remember reading about this.
It's amazing. But then they had another 100, right? So the other 100 were for people who were not at the show who leveled up to 10. And what they had said was that they would contact you with a redemption code. So it turns out they'd never reached that threshold of 100. I think they only got to like around 70 or so, they said. And I'm not sure if they cut it off or if you can actually still get this right now. I'm not totally sure. But there were like 70 or so users in the app. I wasn't at the show. So I was one of those users in the app that they sent me the direct message to get this thing. And they sent it to me for free.
You got to be in it to win it.
For free? That's so badass, dude.
And a steelbook. So
it's the Fuse one. That's so cool.
Yeah. So I paid literally nothing for this. I didn't even pay shipping for it. It was totally free.
Deserve it, man. That's awesome.
So that's amazing. I mean, I just love weird promo things like that, and that fits the bill.
Yeah, one of a kind.
Cyrus is asking if you're in my Discord channel because he'd love to see your Switch collection.
I am not, but I will check it out.
I'll send you a link to join after the show, and you'll have to check it out.
Nice.
Anyone else who's not in the Discord, the link's below. With big community in there. Everyone shares their pickups. Mm-hmm. People post stuff to sell. People post they wanted to buys, and I know a lot of people who have gotten messages of, "Hey, I got that game you want to buy," and that's so cool to see things like that happen.
I've had several people just give me heads up in the Discord on stuff and help me, like just information even. Like
That's
they hear me
awesome.
talk about dumb crap on the show, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And they're like, "No, dummy, get this version or whatever." Like, "Oh, all right. Or after my PSVR video, they're like, "Here's all the stuff you missed."
I will check it out for sure. And thank
There's
you.
also a list of full set lists. If you're wanting to collect a full set, you can download the full PS1, PS2, PS3. Sebastian's uploaded all of his full set lists, so you can basically any PAL set, there's a list on there for it, and majority of North American collections, there's a full list on there as well.
Man, that's awesome. I'll check it
Yeah.
out for sure.
Awesome.
That game too, just so you know, that Blade Assault game, guys, it's like a retro action game, like kind of like in a like 16-bit Contra type game or whatever. If you are interested in games like that, that game is awesome, and it is on clearance right now in Best Buy. So like,
Nice.
I am waiting for my limited run copy to show up because I ordered it with something else and it's just stuck in limbo forever. And I got impatient and I ordered the PS4 copy the other day because I want to play that game so damn bad. And I was like, it's on clearance. Screw it. I'm getting it on PS4 too, baby.
It is really good.
So you're going to see that in my pickups in like a week when it shows up.
Limited Run don't do anymore. I went through all my you remember all the boxes and you get all the little cards and everything. I went through all that stuff last night, and I found all the odd Limited Run stickers. They don't do that anymore. But all their games used to come with a different color.
I remember
sticker.
that. Yeah,
I
don't even do the cards now.
Got 30 of them, and I'm like, oh, this is not a thing anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, they give you nothing now. There's no cards even, so it's just the game.
They used to get a postcard, and the back of the postcard would have a list of every game, and it would even have a little checkbox so you could tick them all off. And
I remember that when they would all fit on the back of a postcard. Now there's no freaking way.
When they would all fit.
I've been getting cards, but it's probably because the games there were games I ordered 2 years ago where they're still doing it. That's probably literally what's going on. I'm probably still getting the ones they offered 2 years ago.
That is what's happening, and those are the ones that come with that. Oh, we're sorry. Here's 10% off of your next whatever code.
Oh yeah, I get those all the time. Thank you for being rad.
Yeah,
I ended up putting all my codes and everything together with the games. I put all my games in sleeves, and everything fits in the back. And when I'm doing it, I put it all out on the table, and I got down to like 5 cards. I didn't know what games they were, so I had to Google Lens them and work out what games they were.
So to go with the theme of PAX exclusives, right? So there was Castle Crashers that also.
That's that people are excited about this.
Yeah, so like
it's only got released in this convention, right? It's the only way you get this, I think. Right?
Originally that was all they announced, and that's where they released it. Then when the show was over, they announced that hey, we're taking pre-orders for it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not sure how many they sold at the show. It's weird that they're taking pre-orders and they're not shipping what's left. Maybe they want to see how many more they pre-sell and to see if they want to press more or manufacture more. But this is one of the copies that was from the show, so I don't have to wait for it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never played that game, but I people were like freaking out over that. I guess that's like it's never been released physically, right, or something like that. Or
yeah, never.
That's on the best of the PlayStation Network, isn't it?
Or
I don't think it's on the disc. It's on PSN.
I don't know.
For sure.
It's one of those PSN games. It was like Fat Princess, and like it was definitely one of those like online only things. So
yeah, it was a download only. It's not in that collection, but it was definitely on PSN. I don't remember what platforms. I think I played it on Xbox 360 back in the day, but I'm sure
it's on the PS3 store. That's how I played it.
So last Switch game I've got. This is a weird one. Like it just kind of showed up with no warning, no announcement. But in US only, from what I can tell. But so Nickelodeon Kart Racers collection.
Yeah, that's
grab
cool.
those too.
All 3 of them, and it just showed up at Walmart apparently for $40. The most recent one is 3, and that still sells for $30. So I mean, if you want these games, it's amazing that you can just get it as a collection, only on the Switch apparently.
Yep.
And like it's weird. Like you couldn't order it for delivery. Like it showed up on the Walmart website. It was up for like 3 days with no artwork. And like I'm in California, you couldn't order it. Like there were no.
I had to go to the store to pick it up. Yep.
And it didn't make its way to the West Coast. It was only on the East Coast and maybe the middle of the country. I couldn't get it out here, so I had to have my friend on the East Coast pick it up and send it to me because I had no way to get it.
Yep. I literally saw some random Twitter person posting about it, freaking out, and I went on my Walmart and they had like 2 in stock. And you said I had to go pick it up. And I just sit there and wait in the freaking stupid car pot. It took me like an hour to get the damn thing. I'm like, literally like, can I just go in and grab it, you assholes? It's this big. But I see them wailing out groceries and all this stuff for all these other people. I'm like, dude, this is so stupid. Anyway, sorry.
So like
That's how things work these days. Click and collect. You gotta wait in the car.
I can't just walk into the desk. No, you have to.
Is
sit
there
in the
a
carport.
PS4
You have to
or
use the
PS5 version of
kiosk,
that
and you have to.
pack?
Nope.
there's not. It's just Switch only.
That's interesting. Because they're all on PlayStation.
And that was, like Jason said too, a total stealth release. No announcement, no advertising, no nothing. Is it like sold out already, or is it gone? Or
I mean, so it was taken off the website like after just like 2 or 3 days. So
I'm so glad I got it.
Yeah, I think it's still in some stores, but like you have to just show up and hope for the best.
When you hear about why is a game expensive? It's the stories start like this.
Yeah, exactly.
All 3 games are on the cart, by the way. The only thing that's missing is there's some DLC from 3 that's not on the cart.
Correct. Yeah, and so
it,
games are complete on cart except for that DLC, like you just said.
Yeah. And those games are dope. Don't sleep on them, by the way, either. They're actually one is a little rough, but part 2 is good and part 3 is awesome.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I didn't like about 1 or 2 is like they got all these amazing characters, right? But no voice acting. And that pissed me off because I'm like, what is the point of having Ren and Stimpy and all the Rugrats and all the Ninja Turtles, all these people in this game, and there's no voice acting? Like, I want to hear these freaking characters.
Yeah.
And so 3, they fixed that. In 3, they have like Invader Zim yelling, and like, oh, it's great, dude. I highly recommend part 3. It's a great game.
Nostalgic overload sounds like.
I agree. And like I want to say, like calling it a stealth release, it's probably giving it too much credit because I feel like it's an accidental, like maybe it was meant for Black Friday, but they put it out early. I have no idea. Like it just, I feel like it was a
weird.
mistake. Yeah, that nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
So the last pickup I've got, and it has nothing to do with anything I've shown. It's probably the weird random thing that I've got to show here today. But so I'm really into the not for resale kiosk kind of stuff for Nintendo platforms. That's just like a weird niche I'm into. But for like Nintendo DS and on, like I don't do N64. They're crazy expensive. That's just not my kind of platform. I don't really collect for that. But the Wii U, you know, there were not many kiosk exclusive things for the Wii U. They did have those multi-game demo discs.
I've never seen a Wii U kiosk. Now that I think about it,
Exactly.
I've never seen one. Wow,
And
My
there-
friend's got one who we were chatting about this morning, Joe.
that's cool.
There weren't a ton. I mean, like the Wii U just came and went in general.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but so what I've got here, I didn't know this existed until it just showed up on eBay, and I got lucky. It went for a lot, but I think it's worth a lot more than I ended up getting it for, so I don't have any complaints. This is a Pikmin 3 event disc, and it's still factory sealed, which is
What?
also crazy. So I did some research into this, and what it was for one day, literally one day, Nintendo reps in the US, and there's only like 200 or so or less for the whole country. Like I think less than that, like 150. Like an actual Nintendo rep in each area would have one store selected where they would actually go and like man the booth and actually like you know, this is shortly after E3, after Pikmin 3 debuted there. It would be like a special demo version of the game, and they would like give you some kind of like additional content if you pre-ordered the game that day. I think it was only in GameStops. So you know, like 150 or so discs exist. They were only used for one day at only that 150 or so stores, and it was like specifically to like, you know, boost pre-sales and to give you exclusive content, which I'm not sure how that exactly happened. Like they gave you a code in person or something. And, you know, in theory, they were all destroyed. They were returned to Nintendo. But it's like this one, I think it came from a former rep and it never got used. So maybe this rep just was out sick or something. But somehow this came out of their personal stash. And so it's like an unused event disc of which
That's
only around
so cool, dude.
That's
like
awesome.
150.
Piece of history too, and I love how you've got the story behind it as well.
Yeah, like I found it on a Pikmin fan site. Like they actually talked about the event, and I'm like, damn, that's the disc. So weird. I'm into that weird stuff. But yeah, thought I would share that with you guys.
Oh yeah,
too.
I remember you showed off some crazy carts that you had.
All the Pokemon not for resale.
Yeah,
cards
yeah,
and everything. No, it's
Yeah.
awesome stuff, Joe.
It fits nicely with that weird section.
Well, I can relate because when I got real deep into the PSVR collection, I've reached the point where now I'm after the not for resale variants and stuff like that. That's what I need, and it's just like it's so funny how like that stuff can be the most desirable, and it's so weird and random and so hard to track down. Nobody knows what the hell it is, and then when you show it off, people are like, "I don't even know what it is," and you're like, "That's how cool it is. You don't even know what the fuck this is." So
You got to tell them a story behind it so they appreciate it. I love it.
It's like so obscure. Yeah, like I didn't know, and I'm into this stuff. I didn't know this existed like until years after. So love finding
exciting.
That.
Yeah, that's just exciting. It's fun.
That's the same. I love collecting that stuff for PlayStation. Like when I show people the Gran Turismo HD concept install disc, it doesn't mean anything until you then tell them what it is and how it came about and the story behind it, and then it's like, oh, that is pretty amazing.
It is. It's like a piece of history. It's like an alternate reality.
There's one piece that I don't own, and I probably won't own it because last time it was on eBay, I bid $500 and didn't win it. So my chances of getting it now is slim to none. But it's a From Software promotional disc that they gave away at a convention in 2009. And it like says PS3, just From Software promotional stuff. And I don't even know if it's got games on it. I think it's just like interactive videos of their upcoming projects. But like, I love From Software and PS3, so I'd love to own this piece of history. But yeah, losing a $500 auction, I don't think I'll be winning this one.
Yeah. I love like that weird kind of event, you know, like only one convention they gave out a handful. I got a feel like that too. Like it's total shovelware, but a Wii game called Wii Cheer at the Namco booth on one day of Comic-Con in whatever year, I think it was like 2008 or whatever. They had like one stack of demo discs for that one event. And that was the only way that you can get that demo disc. And I've got one of those like sealed. Like, I don't know how many people want that, but it's bizarre. I just like that weird kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I like it too. Niche collecting, but the hardcore collectionists definitely appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah, so there's always that. So if you're really into collecting, there's rare stuff, but then there's stuff that's just like in another level. There's another category to it. It's like there's stuff that's like, well, this was never sold.
Yeah,
that's tough for me because it's like, well, how the hell was I supposed to know? Like, I wasn't invited to Ted's birthday party where they made 10 of these. What the heck? Or I wasn't on that football team that got sent 20 of these in a special pro or whatever the hell it was. But like, so from a collecting point of view, like I love that stuff too. It's the most fascinating. It's the most interesting. Like those pieces where you just see it and you go, what the hell is that? Like, I love that stuff. It blows me away. Or like I love misprints, anything with a cool story where you'll just look at it, you're like, what the hell's going on with this game? Why is that logo like that? Why does that company partner with this company? Did this ever happen? I don't remember this. Like, I love that stuff, dude.
Yeah, and like there's something about just unreleased games. It's like, well, what do you mean it's unreleased? It's right here. I just love that weird kind of it shouldn't exist. I mean, that's really what drew me to NBA Elite originally. That's why I sought it out even before I was collecting hardcore. I'm like, wait, so it exists? I gotta find it because it shouldn't, but it does, and that's why I was driven to find it, and that was before it was worth a ton. But I just
wish I had that Binding of Isaac on Vita, man.
Oh, man.
God, I wish I had that.
I've got all the other Nightcala stuff, but that one, and that kills me.
It's getting released one day, guys. That the developer said so himself.
Sure,
they never really said on that one.
It'll get released, and it'll get released at 2 a.m. on Square Enix's website.
Yep.
Just like Final Fantasy. It'll be sold out
Or
by 4
it'll be
a.m.
released on eBay, one copy at a time, or from one address.
That's what I do. I don't give a damn. If I had those games right now, I see them selling for $4 or $5 grand. That's how I do it.
Yep.
Sorry.
But I'm sure that the guy who owns those games has those thoughts in his mind. Like, do I do the right thing and sell them, or do I make $1 million and retire? Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's like a dilemma. You know what I mean? If you're the only one with those games.
I honestly imagine. Have you ever seen that at the end of the Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they go in the warehouse and they put it in the big factory with all this? I'm pretty sure they're in that factory, just in a box.
Top men are there watching over all this bonding.
Exactly. Where are they? That's just where they are.
Like all the copies of Poop Slinger that are sitting in limited run games' warehouse.
That could be where they are.
They're in North Carolina. That's for sure.
That seems to be where they all are popping up right now.
Yeah.
They don't pop
anywhere else, unless it's from a collector that people are aware of who own a copy.
like
Yeah.
a documentary, like the Bigfoot, like hunting down the poop slingers. Just go to North Carolina trying to find them.
No, but I mean, unless someone does that, Joe, this is going to happen because, if 10 copies, 15, 20 copies are selling each year, well, suddenly these numbers are adding up to more than the 80 that are out there.
Yeah.
It's got to be 1,000 out there. And
It's
there's
84.
1,000 out there. It's not a $10,000 game. It's not even a $1,000 game.
It's a what's the word? It's an enigma. Well, because if you can't get them, then it's unavailable. But if they exist and you can't get them, again, they're still unavailable. But if they pop up one day and those 900 become available, then yeah, it's not worth anything.
But it has to come down to someone selling them all at once for cheaper. And that's probably not going to happen at this point.
No.
But I think I don't know if so. I think that once something hits that collectability status where it's valuable and sought after, I even if it would temporarily take a hit, it'll rebound, which is what I feel about like when with the VG reprints and stuff like that. People are like, oh, it's going to kill the value. It's going to kill the value. And I'm like, it will temporarily, but I still think long term, these games that are sought after or collectible will rebound and go back up. Maybe not to the heights you once saw, but like if let's say they released 900 poop slingers, you know what I mean, went on eBay all of a sudden. Like they might be selling cheaper, but they'll sell out, and then they'll still be collectible and still be worth a ton of money. Is what I'm saying. Like people just want them for their collection. They're sought after. I don't know how to describe it. Like once it's reached that at legend status, it's like everybody's got to have it.
But like,
so I can agree and disagree with that because I can think of two games that happened to one and didn't happen to the other. Class of Heroes 2G, that's now a $100 game. It was $400. But look at the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. That was, $150. It got reprinted for $50. Today it's $150 again. But then I would put it down to that has real organic collectability where, the average guy on the street probably wants to own the Metal Gear Solid collection. Doesn't even know what Class of Heroes 2G is. So maybe
not all games. You're right. You're right. There's probably
I would put Poop Slinger on the side of, once these hardcore collectors have got their copy, then the average Joe doesn't care.
But I mean, like, I think something comparable somewhat to Poop Slinger is Revenge of the Bird King on the PS4, right? Yep. So it was only sold at one convention or given out to the friends of the guy who created it. And then, pent up demand for it. And then suddenly the other 1,400 or whatever came out and it's not worth anything now. So it didn't really retain any notoriety. It didn't retain any real value. It's like a $40 maybe game now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very
so exactly. That's true. I mean, maybe I am wrong. Yeah. But I don't know. How long was it? How long? I don't know.
I would argue though that they then released that at retail because they kind of had to for bad PR. Like things went the wrong way, and I'm sure that they're doing it differently for other games. If they did do Poop Slinger, that's why we don't know any information behind it. Because if you release information, the information's out there. You have to do the right thing. You can't just say, "Oh, I have every copy of this game and I'm not selling them."
Yeah, and to be fair, Poop Slinger had much more of a reputation than Bird King did too. So I think Poop Slinger will always be notorious. So I think that one will still retain a higher value, even if another 900 come out.
And it's got I think Figsy hit it pretty hard when he said it has to have that desirability too, or that natural collectability. So perfect like Castlevania games. That's exactly what I mean. Like the greatest hits PS1 Castlevania games still worth a ton of money because it's just everybody wants the damn game. Silent Hill, same thing. Everybody they're not rare, it's just very sought after and collectible. So yeah, that is true. I don't even know, let's say they did release the PS Vita version of Binding of Isaac and they printed a regular release. I don't think it would be that people wouldn't be lining up to buy it. The old version of Isaac, that's 3 versions too old or whatever. People like me would, but it doesn't have that that mass appeal. Like you said, it doesn't have that. So
I think you're right. No, for sure. I mean, and Isaac actually has a much more appeal than something like a Poop Slinger or a Bird King. I mean, that's a popular series.
Yeah, I was actually one where I could still see that being if they did say bring out the Vita copy at $100 retail price, I could still see it being a $200-$300 game afterwards, but not a $2,000-$3,000 game.
Yeah,
Mm.
no, agreed.
Where if they did Revenge of the Bird King on the Vita, I guess because of the Vita community being so hardcore, you're not going to see a cheap Vita game. But again,
Oh, speaking of cheap Vita games, how cool is it? Did you see the VGP announced they had a bunch of the Play Asia exclusives in stock
yeah,
again?
how good is
Yeah.
that?
Oh, dude, so cool. And I'm like, it's giving me this little half chubby. I'm like, are they gonna do maybe some PS4 Play Asias? Can you throw a couple copies of the Coma on there, please? Like, just
How good is Play
a
Asia?
couple
by the way?
schmups.
I mean, not Play
Oh,
Asia, Video Game
throw-
Plus. Like,
throw
retail
Sodner
price
X
of
up there,
game.
please. Oh, please.
They're doing the Evercade games, and they're releasing them all cheap as well.
Yeah, and like the whole back catalog too, because there's some of those that are pretty hard to track down now, and they have I don't think they have all of them, but they have quite a few of the ones that I don't have. So
I
Yeah, I
wanted to
think
ask though, because they were European, is it cheaper for you to now buy them through Video Game Plus than originally through Europe? Joe's frozen.
Oh, okay. I don't think he was thinking really hard.
hard on this one.
I think so, though. I think VGP is like the cheapest way to get anything for the Evercade, like either in North America or anywhere. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it's cheaper than importing it for sure from Europe to the US. And I could be wrong about this. I'm pretty sure that there are cover variants for some of the Evercade games where they have the PEGI and then other ones have none. Maybe Joe would know better than I would because I kind of stopped here and there collecting. I just started getting the ones I want. But I think they did reprint a bunch of those Evercade games, and I'm pretty sure that's where that restock came from on VGP.
Nice.
seriously, all I heard was, so Joe, I wanted to ask you.
So Joe, back to the question. I know you were buying the Evercade games from Europe. Is it cheaper now for you to buy them direct from Video Game Plus than
Yeah.
it was originally? That's crazy.
Mhm.
It's crazy that the company's making it even cheaper. Like for me, same experience with brand new limited run games. I can buy them today
Yeah.
or wait till they come out and buy them cheaper because they charge me a cheaper shipping price. And
Free shipping from
they don't have the
$80
scrap
Canadian, which was
protection
like 60,
warranty or
60 something bucks.
50
here.
something, yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing. So VGP is they have become like Red Art Games and stuff. I used to always order direct from them, and now I'm kind of like, I don't. Why? I'm like, I'll just wait for VGP to get their copies, and it's cheaper.
See, no, I've been doing that too, and now that I hate that I've allowed myself to be suckered into this. Now that Red Art Games is doing exclusive like slip sleeves, and they're calling them deluxe editions, I actually started going back to Red Art Games Direct and paying crazy shipping prices just so I could have one of the 300 cardboard little slip sleeves on the same games I can get from
Everyone loves
VGP.
the Slippy.
Everyone
but
does
they-
love a Slippy.
But they gave, it's not just us. They gave like artwork stuff with it too. Like where's
They give like some of them do. There's like two. There's the deluxe editions, and then there's like exclusive. I don't know what they call it. Like games that are only sold on Red Art Games now. There have been like 3 or 4 of those so far, but then all of the other ones that you can get from VGP, will have versions with slip sleeves.
So I got the Jets and Guns 2 deluxe
Yeah.
editions directly from them, and they came with these cool little postcards, bros.
There's
So
that
like
too.
this is what I mean. So that's why they're kind of getting me. They're getting me back, the bastards, because these are pretty cool. I do like me some. Oop! I can do it. There we go. Hold on. There it is. They're
I
pretty
like the bonuses, but I mean, for me, that goes into a stack with like where all my limited run cards go. Like, if it's not in the box, I'm like, it's nice, but yeah.
The bag extras. You
That's
got
where
one of
that stuff
these.
goes.
You
Yep.
guys got
They're
this.
not in boxes, but yeah, there's
I
so
have
many. Oh my
so
God.
many.
Yep.
This bag is probably worth a fortune because it's all of the pre-order bonuses and extra pieces of artwork and all the I've told my girlfriend, I'm like, if I die, this bag is worth more than all the rest. Don't throw this away. Don't give it away.
I can
This
see
is
like
so many
$5
things in here.
vouchers in there and 10% off.
There's
and-
dude, I got like pre-order bonus coins from First Press
I've got
Games.
those.
I got all this. There's like I said, this bag is probably worth more than half of my collection because all the crap in it.
I love it.
Yep,
I
I've
keep all
got
my
3
soundtracks
codes.
into one section too, and like all that stuff lives by itself.
Yep,
I wanted to ask, did you guys order Gunvein last night?
I did. Yep.
Hell to the freaking yeah! I got the standard edition and the collector's edition.
Yeah, me too.
Hell yeah! So first off,
Is it
I
sold
love
out or-
NG Div. Huh? Oh, I'm sure it sold out in like 5 minutes. There's no way that's still for sale. I would be shocked if that was still
Let's
for
have
sale.
a quick look.
It was up for a while. Like I kept checking. Like, oh, it's gotta be gone by now, right? Like, okay, that's
Really?
fair.
I'm
I mean, it might not
surprised.
be now. It might not
Razion
be-
X.
You can
Razion
still
X.
buy the limited edition. This regular edition sold out. The
Okay.
limited edition
Yep.
is still up, guys.
Well, the same thing happened with. So the first time that Razion got released, everything sold out instantly.
I remember.
And they did a second release. The standard edition sold out insanely fast, and they had the collector's edition up for a little while. So I guess that makes sense. But that game, Gunvein, is amazing.
It looks
It
good.
is so good, dude. Like I bought it digitally like day one, just because I was like, I've been waiting for that game to come out. Like I've been hyped for it. It's like one of my most hyped games, and it is. If you like old school cave type shmups, dude, it is so good. It's just nonstop balls to the wall. Like doesn't it just no all killer no filler. Like that guy, whoever made that game, they were just like, this is for people who have hardcore ADHD or hardcore cocaine problems or something. You're just way too hyper. This game is just like, go. Blah.
Those
the
guys
whole
are
time.
awesome. I mean,
Oh.
they're actually it's 2 brothers. The whole team, I think, is just 2 brothers. Like there's a coder and there's an artist, and
Really?
they started like the NG. It comes from like Neo Geo. Like they were doing like homebrew Neo Geo
Yeah.
games. I think Last Hope was the first. They did Gunlord later and all that. And
Mm.
those guys are hardcore. I love their work. Like they did like a bunch of Dreamcast homebrews years ago, and now that they found a home on the Switch, they actually have like a wider audience for the first time. I think it's awesome. They're really good.
Yeah, and their games are really awesome. Like Gunlord,
Yes.
Razion, and Gunvein, all fantastic games.
Agree.
So Gunlord's like Turrican, if you guys like Turrican.
Yep.
So Gunlord X is like a love letter to that game. Razion X is like a 2D side-scrolling shmup they made. It's kind of like it's R-Type inspired, but I wouldn't say it's like R-Type by any means. It's not. It's way easier to be honest with you. And then Gunvein is like a vertical shmup, like cave style, like old school Japanese shmup. It's just
I think
so
Gunvein is like all the other ones were developed on Neo Geo and ported to the Switch. I think that Gunvein is the very first one to not really have its roots in the Neo Geo, so they kind of did some nicer stuff on there.
Yeah, it's definitely modern. It doesn't look like the other games. Amazing though. It's got a great lock-on mechanic. It's got a bitchin' soundtrack too.
Yeah, I see that comment about Krautbuster. That's like the one game that is on Neo Geo, and it's like a level to Metal Slug. Krautbuster. Yeah, like that's the one they did not port. I was just waiting because I don't have a Neo Geo. I didn't buy their $500 homebrew cartridge of it. I want to play it, but like they still haven't ported it. I'm hoping they will do a Switch version of that one day.
This is
the
NG
Neo
Dev?
Geo version's got like 4 digits in the price tag. Being a Neo Geo.
Exactly. I mean, it looks amazing though.
So is this like
I wanted to ask you about your time when you worked at Sony. We haven't talked about this on the show.
We're talking about me now.
Yeah.
I'm in. I've never really mentioned it, and I don't talk about it a whole lot. But I'm actually in the games industry, and I'm a producer in the games industry, and I did work for Sony for years. But strangely, very strangely, even though I worked for Sony for like 8 years, 5.5, like maybe 7-ish plus. I worked in games for years and years at Sony. I never worked at PlayStation.
Oh wow!
And so that's bizarre. Like you would think, how is that even possible? Like what the hell else do they do? Well, I worked at Sony Pictures as a producer in games on their tiny little games team, and that was for 5.5 years, and it was mostly mobile, but a little bit of non-mobile. And I worked at a startup, which is still kind of in stealth mode. They are known to exist, but what they're working on has not been unveiled. But it's a startup within Sony called Sony Immersive Music Studios. I was there for about 1.5 years, and they still haven't announced what they're doing, and I'm no longer there. But it is very interesting, and I hope one day people will find out what that is. But that's my time at Sony. I never worked at PlayStation. I almost feel ripped off by the fact that I didn't get to do any PlayStation stuff, but I did work at Sony in games.
Did you at least get some cool swag, man?
No.
Oh, see, that's what you're really salty about. You just wanted some hats, some freaking promo discs. Come on, man.
But working at Sony Pictures, it's like I got some movie posters.
That's cool.
I mean, it
So
would have been a really cool experience. Just
Yeah, I'm sure it
working
was still
for
really
it.
badass.
No, it was cool. I mean, like I worked on the lot, the actual Sony Pictures movie like studio lot.
That's so
And
cool.
Spider-Man?
it was cool. I did see them filming some of Spider-Man, the first one, the reboot. I should like No Way Home or whatever. Is that the? I don't remember. But I saw them filming some of that, so I did see Robert Downey Jr. like shooting a scene. But
Cool.
that was
That's
cool.
cool. And Jason, correct me if I'm wrong, but you also worked for Nintendo as well?
I did. So my first job out of
He's not allowed to talk about it. NDA.
It's not interesting enough to be under NDA, honestly. So I did work for Nintendo though. I was a Nintendo rep. It was my first job out of college.
Oh, that's so much fun, dude.
It was pretty cool.
man.
I mean, I'll be honest, it was a little bit disillusioning once I was doing it. I was like, okay, this is my dream job. It was freaking amazing.
Did it pay well? I can't imagine it did on a college.
Nope.
It must be that job's too awesome to pay well.
It did not pay well, but I mean, like
Yeah.
it was interesting. So this was a long time ago. This is like 2003, like right. I graduated. So yeah, I'm dating myself, but like, it was like right out of college, and that was when Nintendo. This is during the GameCube era. So if you remember the GameCube era, at the time, Nintendo was in last place. Like nobody wanted to play the GameCube.
Yeah.
And this was like when Wind Waker was announced, but not quite out yet. Like my first week on the job was like right before Wind Waker came out, right before the Game Boy Advance SP came out. Like looking back, those are like golden times now. But at the time, people were like angry at me that Toon Link was a thing. They were like, why isn't he realistic? Why isn't he like, you know, they showed that tech demo at E3 the year before.
Oh, that was very controversial. The
Very-
anime style, when they went to that style, like people like hated it. There was like a love-hate thing going on with it. For
Yeah,
sure.
I'll be honest, I loved it, but
Yeah, me too.
you know,
I've always like cell-shaded art and cartoony
Me too.
art. I
Like
think it's timeless. Always
Jet
looks
Set
beautiful.
Radio and all that. I love that kind of style, right?
Yep.
But like when I would go to GameStop as Mr. Nintendo, right, for my region, this was I lived in Florida at the time.
Mhm.
They would be combative and angry. Like they'd be like, "What'd you do to Zelda?" I'm like,
Like it was you.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I'm like, they're like, "Well, what do you tell them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll relay it." But they were angry. They were people were pissed at what Nintendo was doing. So it was not really a fun job in that regard.
That's oh man, how funny. That's like today the most requested port. Like even to me, I would love for them to port Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to the Switch. I
Yeah.
can't believe they haven't done it yet.
They put everything else at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally,
like 8.
you don't even need. It's already HD. You just need to put it on the cart, and I'll give you my money.
That's exactly right.
Just please,
Yeah.
and then you could even do 3 versions, collector's editions, 3 different covers. I'll buy them all. Just put them out. Come on, Nintendo.
Even just download only at this point. Like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I love Wind Waker. Like, it's one of my favorites. I mean, not just because I worked there. Like, I was looking forward to that as like a Nintendo fan. And then I got the job, and I'm like, oh my god, I work for Nintendo. And then everybody was angry about it. I'm like, okay, well, that's your opinion. I respect it, but you're wrong. But no, so like it was interesting. Like I had to drive all over. I lived in Orlando at the time. I had to drive all over Central Florida, which is a big, space. And I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. They would send me all the kiosks and things. I'd have to set them up. So this is where my love and my interest and all that kind of stuff came from. I was actually a Nintendo rep, and then it was weird to be spending money to get this stuff later. Once I was used to getting it for free, just like spent in bulk.
But people pay for this stuff.
Yeah, it was weird. Like I couldn't even bring myself to buy Nintendo branded games for like a year because I used to get it all for free, and I'm like,
oh yeah, I bet.
It was weird. It's like
I know that makes sense. That's like you used to work at Subway, you ate there for free, and you're like, I'm not paying for that shit.
Yeah, it took like a year before I was like, okay, I'm a little bit far away enough I can justify it,
Well, you could go back to that year now and be like, that I'm keeping, that I'm not going to give back to them. This got lost. Sorry, that thing that I only had the one copy of in the country. Now someone stole it.
I wish I kept more because now I realize they just destroyed a bunch of that stuff, but they required me to send it back.
Is that
It was very sad. But I mean, honestly, it was not glamorous at all. Like I was excited by it, but then once I saw what the job really was, I mean, I'd have to store all the stuff in my 1-bedroom apartment. I'd have to like pack it in my car. I'd have to drive for hours and hours, like per day, just to drive to a Walmart or a Kmart in the middle of nowhere. It was not fun. I'll be honest with you. The good thing was the free stuff that I got, but the rest of it was the commute, and there were interesting downsides that you wouldn't expect.
I'm sure looking back today, though, being a big collector, it would have been great to know and have the experience to know like how things work in the industry and different things like that.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of weird stories. Maybe I'll save it for another game industry story show, but
we definitely have to get you back on the show, Jason. It's been awesome having you on here.
Yeah, man, it's been great. Like there's been lots of weird experiences that I've had in the industry, some of which I can talk about.
The one thing I just want to say too that's interesting, like you said about the Wind Waker hate and everything, that I think we've all been there. At least I can personally say that, because I remember the same time period when they made Resident Evil 4 into an action game. I was furious. I was livid. I was so mad because I loved the old school tank control, scary ass Resident Evil games, and the fourth one came out, and I was just like, this is just shooting zombies, man. This isn't scary. This isn't. I was so upset. But like now, I'm like, I love Resident Evil 4. The game's so fun.
Now it's one of my favorites too.
It's so it's just, you know, sometimes change can at first just be like, what the hell, dude? Like,
and
I didn't like Breath of the Wild when it came out. Did not like it, but like now I'm like I really went back and tried it again, and I'm like, okay, I get this. Now, if I think of it as like I'm not expecting Link to the Past, I go in there expecting Breath of the Wild, I'm having fun now. Like, it's different.
And like another thing about Resident Evil 4,
I still want old Pokemon games.
Oh man,
Pokemon games suck.
I do have one story I want to say really quick. So like when I started, right, like the best part, I'll save this story for another time, but I flew out to Nintendo. They actually flew me out for training in Redmond, Washington at their HQ. That was amazing. But when I came back, right, like the very first shipment from Nintendo was waiting at my doorstep, like when I came back, and it was all of like the kiosk copies of Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and this was like 6 weeks before the game came out.
Oh my god!
I had like 85 copies of like of Ruby and like 50 copies of Sapphire, and I'm like, oh my god! Like if kids knew what was in my apartment right now, like throughout the freaking state.
It's a bunch of little toddlers beating the shit.
But what was really cool though, I had these games like again like 6 weeks before release, and like when I started the job, and I had an SP also like a month before it came out, and that was really cool.
That is cool, man.
You obviously would have been playing them because you could, right?
Yeah, exactly. And these were the full games. These weren't demo versions. They were actually the full games. And so like I would be like in stores, and like kids would kind of hover around me when they saw I was going to like install like an SP, and I was going to install like the new Pokemon game they haven't played yet. And I would actually, just to blow their minds, I would like hand them the SP and let them play Ruby and Sapphire like a month before they came out. And to hear them say,
dude, they must have crapped themselves.
Oh my god, they
sick, man.
I remember these kids saying, "I can't wait to go to school tomorrow to tell my friends."
Seriously, dude, you made them king of the freaking playground.
Yeah,
that was like, the best memory.
Yeah,
the best memory of the job.
I can imagine them like, no, you did not. I swear, I played the new Pokemon. I swear.
New Game Boy Advance, it hasn't come out yet.
Right, to be able to take out like Ruby, and I would actually hold them up like, which one you want to play, and their eyes would just freaking.
And that was quite a leap. When those games came out, those games were sick compared to in my opinion, graphically and gameplay wise.
We went from Crystal to Ruby and Sapphire. Yeah,
that's a huge jump.
That's like when you saw Final Fantasy VII. Like to me, I'm like, wow. Like so.
I think that was my favorite part of the job. Like my favorite memory looking back was just the joy that these kids got out of just being able to pull this stuff out, like of like this carry case I would bring into the store. You know, it's awesome.
I hope moving forward today, those kids are collectors. And they're like, do you remember the time that we played Ruby and Sapphire early?
Oh, and a couple times, like the moms, right? They would see the excitement on the kids' faces, and then they would try to tie this into something educational, which was difficult. And then they come to the mom would be like, hey, well, you know, you have to go to college to work for Nintendo, right? And she's nodding her head, like, just say yes. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I got this job.
Yep. I had a master's degree.
They looked at my grade 4 results and they went, you know, because you studied hard in grade 4, we're going to give you the job.
Right. But then when they kept on talking, I'd be like, "Can we just end the topic there?" The mom would be like, "Oh, what'd you study in school?" I'm like, "Well, I got a film degree, and I'm not using it." But yeah, it was awkward.
You should say no. You just got to beat every gym trainer by buying the new SP.
I should have said that.
All you got to do is catch them all, kids. Hey,
That's how you get the job. Catch them all, and
Yeah,
then
we
you
got
send,
secret Pokemon. That's why you never got them all.
and then they will contact you.
Oh, that's funny. Hey guys, we might call this a show, but Jason, it's always good to have you on the show, man. Thanks so much for coming back.
that was good.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me back. I appreciate it. It was a good time.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, dude. That was awesome.
And thanks for everyone in chat for hanging out and watching. And we will see. Joe won't be here next week, but we will have a show on Thursday/Friday, and we will have special co-host D Street. So stay tuned for that. We'll be.
I didn't get fired, boys. I'm just on vacation. I got a work thingy. I'll be back.
We might see a bonus appearance from Joe if he's got good enough reception.
That's true. I'm gonna be up in the mountains at some convention or conference, so I'm either gonna have no internet or might be really wasted. But either way, I might make an appearance. We'll see.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.